Hello, one. Hello, all. How are we doing today? Welcome once again to Blaine's Escape Corner. Our little corner of the internet. We get together and we talk about what helps us escape. I will be right back because once again I forgot a glass. But I will leave you with the vocal stylings of the angry Canadian. One
What
second.
what is up there, folks? Just your average Joe living in Japan, trying not to be a cringe foreigner. How is everybody doing? I did not expect to do this for this guy. We got Doctor in the chat. What's up? Veritax. What up? Michael. Hopefully, anime reviews before the React crap. Yeah, hopefully. I don't know who this guy is, so yeah. What up there, Serranos? You're Canadian. You can't stop being cringe. Serranos is berating me for not being a real Canadian.
I'm also confused by that. Were you at one point a Canadian?
Yeah, I was born in Montreal, and then my dad he pulled the ultimate Chad move and moved us out of Canada before it went down the sink.
Gotcha.
So I'm a naturalized American,
Nice.
the legal way.
Interesting. So you're not you attach yourself still to Canada though? Like
Nope.
you have family up there that you go visit or something?
Um, my uncle, or sorry, I have family living in Vancouver, but that's not going to probably happen for too much longer. Actually, it's really
Hmm.
funny. A lot of my family has moved out of Canada over the years.
They're like, you know what? What if we weren't in Canada up here?
Yeah. So the only thing I'll say that I'm attached to is the hockey, like playing hockey. I don't watch sports anymore because everything's gone political, but that's about it. Everything else about Canada I don't care about, other than like
Tim's? Like
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons? Okay. I was like, Tim's Cascade potato chips made in Oregon and Washington? Yeah, okay. That's super Canadian. Oh no, that's great. That's great. I'm trying to think. What I had something there. Anyway, Compai.
Kampai.
Okay. Well, welcome. For anyone who doesn't know, you may be the angry Canadian who is a naturalized American, but you also live in Japan. So,
Yes.
as the resident, actively there expert, what is the best Japanese beer?
But that's more personal, right? Because
Oh,
I
no,
can
no,
say
no. There
no.
is an objective answer to this question.
Oh my goodness. I'm probably gonna get this wrong then, because I don't drink a whole lot, but I believe it's Sapporo.
Oh, you are also wrong. How could you?
Then if it's not Sapporo, it's oh, I can't remember the name of it. I'm pretty sure I've heard it. I just don't know. I don't remember the name. Don't say Asahi, because then otherwise we're gonna
No,
have
no, no.
problems.
I'm not saying Asahi.
Yeah, you're
No, the only time you get Asahi is like in the um where it's like a really pretentious bar and they're like, "We have the Asahi dispenser that lets it come out colder than ice." And you're like, "It's like a Jaeger bomb of beer. Like what is this?"
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, it's Kirin Ichiban or Karen Ichiban as Serranos is saying.
Kirin Ichiban. I gotta look at the label because I forget what it looks like. Yeah,
It's got
Kirin makes sense then.
it's got the horsey, the Kirin.
Oh, that really? This is number one?
This is the greatest beer in all of Japan,
Okay,
right
okay.
here. They also do have the dark black, which is delicious as well. And then they always have a fun seasonal. They're fall seasonal. If you get it, it's usually covered with like momiji. Beautiful, beautiful, and I love it.
I guess it makes sense because I've seen like posters of it at a lot of different like restaurants or bars or whatever.
Yeah.
But I never, yeah, I don't know. I'm not much of a drinker, so
Well, we'll chalk that up to your drinking ignorance because The way that Kirin Ichiban is made, Ichiban, kind of a pretentious name. They're like, oh, Ichiban number one. It's not because they think they're the number one beer in Japan. It's actually because when they process the mash, so when you make beer or any sort of alcohol, you take like a bunch of mash of grains, and with beer's case, you got hops and everything, and you're cooking it, cooking it, cooking it, and then you squeeze out all the juice. And all that juice that's squeezed out, that is what turns into beautiful, golden, delicious beer. Whiskey if you're doing a whiskey mash or whatever you're making, right?
Hmm.
Most, as in every beer company in the world that isn't your uncle's microbrew out of his basement, squishes the mash, opens it up, pours more water in, cooks it again, and then squishes it again. And so you get two presses, the Ichiban and the Niban press. Kirin Ichiban is made using only one press of beer, meaning you don't get that second backwash bullshit just trying to inflate the amount of alcohol they produce. Go to
Interesting.
Yokohama, try it. I've had this beer from the mash, like the juice they press from the mash, and they give you all the sample cups and everything. It is amazing.
I'll have to put that on the list.
It is. It's down in Yokohama if you're ever in the area.
But would you say that like ta on tap or even from the can is even it tastes just as good?
Yes. Yes. I prefer bottles, but
Or
that's just
bottle,
because I
yeah.
like the feeling of a bottle. I don't think it has to do with like it actually tastes better. I think bottles is just people like, but yeah. I mean Sapporo's the oldest, so I mean you got that going for it, I guess.
The only reason why I thought it was that one is because I don't see it whole lot
Recently,
of places. So I figured like maybe because I don't know. I figured it was like pretty good because it's in Hokkaido or it comes from Hokkaido. So
yeah, I've been to the brewery in Hokkaido as well. And you know what you do at the Sapporo beer brewery tour is you go get this thing called Genghis Khan, which is basically a like Korean barbecue, but like the plate is like curved like a hat. So their whole beer bar tour is, oh, come eat this like special meat where you cook it on a plate. Meanwhile, you go to Kira and they're like, hey, guess what you're here for? Here's drinking. Here's our alcohol. How about you drink that?
that is my favorite form of eating barbecue out here is Genghis Khan.
Oh, is
And
it?
yeah, I was just at Hokkaido, so I immediately had to go and eat that because
It
you can
is
only
delicious. I'll grant you that, but
I like playing King of the Hill with the meat because
not a
essentially that's what you're
Chinaman
doing.
hat, a Mongolian hat.
Yes.
Let me see. What's the
But that's
Genghis
cool that they have it
Khan?
at the brewery. That's pretty
Yeah, the
neat.
brewery literally has a Genghis Khan whole domed lid and everything. And it's the one where the cooking cast iron is also shaped like Hokkaido. And you're like, "Oh,
Oh, that's
wow.
dope. That's
Look at
dope.
this." No, quite wonderful. Have you been watching any modern anime? Any current shows?
Yes, I have. Right now, I'm only watching the new Jujutsu Kaisen and Bucket List of the Dead. That's the only two I'm watching right
Yeah.
now.
Those, I mean, two good ones to watch, other than the fact that Jujutsu is like, oh, we'll be back later, and Bucket List was like, not this week. So,
Yes.
other than the fact that you had nothing to watch this week, I mean, you picked some good ones. Are you a fan of the storytelling of Jujutsu so far? I'm mixed when it comes to certain plot points that they've tried to, like, you watch the show and you're like, oh, this is supposed to be a big hype what now situation, but you already know what comes next, so it's a little less exciting.
I don't mind it. I'm not a huge critic when it comes to anime, unless it's like ridiculous, like obviously bad. So I don't go and try to nitpick it. So I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, I'm always looking forward to the next episode. So
Oh, that is true. I do want the next one.
I did really like the because now with the season they're going to the current like the present in the
Mm-hmm.
season. So but I did like the past, and we got to see some backstory with two of those characters. So that was really cool to see all of that.
Yeah, I think it was pretty well. What is the Angry Canadians profile pic? It looks like part cyborg, part Casey Jones from TMNT.
So yeah, I took inspiration from Casey Jones, and it's just a hockey mask. Because, like I said, hockey's the only thing I really care about that is Canadian.
And you're just like, what if the eye was on fire?
Because it's angry. I don't know,
This is
dude.
angry.
I just came up with a
Burning
stupid
rage.
name and a dumb logo just to feel special around here.
Oh, that's fine. You can feel special around here. It's all good. Um, I'm watching My Happy Marriage pretty consistently. It went from, oh my gosh, I can't stand listening to this person to, holy crap, we've got fucking ghouls attacking now. Like I am, I'm ready for the next one. But if you showed me the poster, the name, the synopsis, all of those things, I would be like, I don't think that's really for me. But I knew that like my wife would really enjoy it, so we're watching it together. And lo and behold, like 4 episodes in, 5 episodes in, it's like, holy crap, there are guys spitting fire, burning down houses now. What the hell? Like, and then
That's
a rock
crazy.
explodes and ghouls come out. Oh, thank you, Doctor Asuero. That's right. We hit 300 subs now because I posted a short about the how everybody needs a Toto washlet, and then
Yeah,
I
that was
just got my
great.
faucet in, and then I went from like 280 whatever to 300 almost immediately. I was like, okay, more bathroom shorts.
That was great.
Oh, I'm so happy. It is the only negative is that I now have to like get a bunch of very specific thread adapters to make it work.
Yes.
Which means I'm probably gonna just have to sweat on my own mounts rather than try to use what exists. But it'll be okay. We'll figure it out. What's up, Brandon? How you doing?
I forgot to mention that I was watching season one of Jobless Reincarnation because a buddy of mine recommended it to me, so I'm trying to catch up so I can keep up with season two
Mm.
because I know
Mm-hmm.
season two's live right now, or is it season three? Season
Season
three is
three
live.
is up now. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a ways to go, and I'll have to check out the one you just mentioned because I actually like to watch anime with my wife too. I don't depends on the anime, but I'll watch it with
Yeah.
her. So that one sounds like a fun one to watch.
It's definitely a good one to watch with her. Does she have a sister?
No.
Okay. Won't remove, but it won't add to. There's something different, when you got like siblings, like you think.
All right, that should be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Jobless
She
is
really
good.
likes
It takes
Jujutsu
time.
Kaisen right now, so that's
Same.
pretty
My
fun.
my wife is the same way. Like Jujutsu is like she bugs me when it's Jujutsu Day. I'm like, oh shit, that's right, it is Jujutsu Day. Cause I got like my pop ups that are like, you've got to watch Temperu, you got to watch like all this stuff. I'm like, oh man, there's so much to watch today. But it's always Jujutsu first. Alrighty, shall we jump into? That's the only review I have for today, I think. But let's jump into the topic at hand. And the topic at hand is that are you familiar with the Almighty Lolly?
No, I was trying to. I wasn't gonna watch the video he posted because I figured you were gonna review it, but I am not familiar with him, so I just looked at his channel. He just has a lot of random stuff here that he covers, I guess.
Yeah, so I found the Almighty Lolly twice, which is weird. So the first time I found Almighty Lolly was after Nick Rekieta, the lawyer, on when he was on YouTube streaming, had a run-in with just some guy, and then Almighty Lolly did a takedown of just some guy, and I watched that and I was like, oh wow, this guy's got some good stuff. And so I think at that point I subscribed because I was like, oh yeah, cool. I'm coming from this other audience. I want to share the love. And then last year or whatever. I think it was last year. Have a good one, Brandon. Last year I had COVID and it was awful. And I was, just trying to sleep and I was just listening to video after video. And then I found a 21-hour Berserk, I'm going to call it storytelling review And
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
I was like, okay. And so I clicked it because I was like, I'm not sleeping, so I might as well just have something sort of like mumbling in the background. And I was enthralled with like the way that like his voice doesn't like if you hear him on stream, you hear him in a video, you're like, he's not like, oh, I want to listen to James Earl Jones read Berserk or anything like that. But there's something about the cadence of Kentucky Boy's voice that makes me want to keep listening and keep having him tell grandpa stories. Like it was just very relaxing and very good. Since then, he's got a couple of other parts of the review have come out. I've shouted him out. He's sent some guests over here, or some fans over here. We've been back and forth. It's been very fun. He announced that he was doing a trip to Japan. I was like, oh shoot. He was asking for like advice, help, that kind of thing. And I was like, oh hey, I shot him an email because this trip this fall is going to be my eighth trip, eighth or ninth, and wait, didn't Jemmy? I think Michael. I think Geminira came as well from Lolly. Um, and then so I emailed him because before this channel, my wife and I did a Japan travel channel. We've got a bunch of videos on there. It's Blaine and Katie if anybody's interested. It's a little bit of old news now just because shit changes, right? And so I went through because we had just planned a trip and I was like, here's a bunch of stuff that's changed with COVID. Here's a bunch of stuff that's new. Here's the places I like to go. A couple emails back and forth. And then he went on his trip. I gotta say, I'm pretty sure his trip was in July. I'm like, ooh, that's a that's a rough time to go.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting this to be a lot of it was hot as hell and my balls stuck together. Um, But we'll see. We'll see what the breakdown ends up being in the actual video here itself. I'm excited to see what he did, what he enjoyed, how he went about it. I haven't seen any of this video. I posted the link because I want everybody to go and watch it, send them their likes, all of that kind of stuff, and we will see what he did in Japan with full critique and review and telling him what he should have done and how he should have done it.
Sounds like fun.
All right, let's switch over here. And I'm not going to be gaming while we watch because I want to focus in. I want to make sure we have all of our attention on what we're going to do here.
Yeah, I'll put my Legos down real quickly.
Your Legos? Yeah, I saw that. You posted that on Twitter or was that in the Discord? You had that mountain of Legos?
It was on Twitter, but I'm building something else right now, so I'm gonna wait because I do want to see this in detail.
Hold on. First, I want to show everyone your massive. Where's your which? Not the this one, right? Is this your Legos that you're working on? You must be setting them down pretty far away. Somewhere. Anyway, he's got Clone Wars Legos.
Yeah, the Captain Rex one is what I'm building right now.
This guy.
But the other photo I posted this morning was the Jurassic Park sets that I bought.
Oh yeah, this one?
But I gotta wait a month to like open them, so
Not till it's your birthday.
yeah.
I get that. That's like my I just got my coilovers for my my Subaru and it's out at the welder getting its cage put in. I'm like, I gotta wait now.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna stare at it. I can't use it. And just shout out anytime you want to pause.
Sure.
So, Japan, the land of the rising sun, mecca to all things nerdy and smelly. Japan is the place that every person who likes anime has talked about going to at least once or twice, but the amount of people that actually go is hit and miss, and a lot of it is because setting up an actual trip to Japan is a pain in the ass.
Like I run into this all the time. I don't know if you run into this, seeing as how you live there, but like if you take a trip and you come back, we got two questions all the time. The first question was people who weren't into anime were like, why'd you go to Japan? That like, and they always ask it like that. They can never say like, "Oh, what spurred on your interest in Japan?" Or it's always like, "Why Japan?" And you're like, "Cause best food in the world, cause amazing fun art culture, and then also the people are super fun and nice. At least in the Kansai area."
Well, not only that, there's also all the history. There's the
Oh yeah,
beautiful landscapes, and
more protected historical things than anywhere else in the world.
yeah, and also, um, for a lot of people, it's like this society, this like really clean society where things are like working smoothly for the most part, and like transportation actually works, and like
Mm-hmm.
the a lot of the conveniences, like the different aspects of the society per se, like it's just kind of cool to see that you don't see in the US.
Right.
So, or even other countries, I should say.
Well, and like you said, the convenience. You have a car. I have rented a car twice, and so I've driven from Kyushu, the South Island, all the way to Hokkaido, the northest island, using the ferry system, and that was fun. But you don't need to drive in Japan until
Yes.
you're like way outside of like a major city area. No, Serranos, they have the blackest of people. You don't
Yeah, they have
understand.
real black people, if you want to say that.
The like Karantos black, like just straight Ethiopian, the darkest people you've ever seen. And they're super kind and friendly. They have a funny accent because they speak Japanese and whatever their like native tongue is. So it's they when they do speak English, it's like this weird sort of hey friend friendo, hey, you want
Same, yeah.
friendo, come shop. And I'm like,
Same,
what?
same with the Indians. They have an interesting accent when they speak Japanese.
Oh, I haven't heard an Indian say speak Japanese.
It's
Finding
funny.
good Thai food has been the only complaint I think I have for Japan.
Really?
How long have you been there?
5 years?
Okay. I think in the last 3 trips we've gone, I found one place that had like yellow Thai curry.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to look into that for you then, at least in Osaka, because there's like a lot of Thai restaurants in Southeast Asian restaurants out here.
Are there? Okay. That's exciting because I remember those first few trips like a decade ago, you're like, "Oh man, I want some Thai food." Oh, there's none until we get to Thailand. Thank you, Google. Like
All right, I'm gonna have to look into that. I'll make a note.
the hell kind of thumbnail was that? It's an ode to PewDiePie. I'm pretty sure he used to do this thumbnail where like it would just keep repeating with like his face. So
It was pretty funny,
I'm
that
going with
thumbnail.
that. All right, let's see why. Oh, and then so the other part of the people who are like why Japan are like how Japan? How do you get to Japan? And I'm like, oh, you just go on like Expedia and you do like this trip. And they're like, well, isn't it expensive? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, because you're going overseas. But if you budget out $1,000 a week, you can get to Japan and have a great time. And it would blow people's mind. They wouldn't get it. Plus, like the dollar has been really strong compared to the yen. Even a decade ago, the dollar was still pretty strong. So
Yeah.
it's been a good time to travel when Japan's economy has been hurting for the last 30 years.
Yeah, basically.
A lot of time, money, effort, especially if you want to take multiple people, but this boy right here actually managed to do it. So this video will go over some of the shenanigans we got up to and some general advice for people interested in going. Yeah, the Japan saga was a long-awaited moment for the channel. It was sort of a celebration for how far we've come and proof that we could organize a big event sort of thingy. So we made a stream goal for roughly $8,000, and when that was reached, it was stretched to double the amount to account for some real-life friends that wanted to join in on the trip. Altogether, it was me, my buddy I do streams with by the name of Shota, codename
1,000 a week, yeah. Yeah, if you plan your trip about 8 months out, you can usually get hotels and flights for less than 1,000 a week.
So, I was gonna say, I'm planning my sister's trip. She's coming out next month. So she's paying for her plane ticket, but I'm paying for everything else. So
Hmm.
when I try to calculate like all of what it's gonna cost by the end of like October, I'll try to come back to you guys and let you know how much everything was. So then if people are interested, they can see like what the price range is.
Yeah, and let me pull this up because we actually just finished the initial splitwise of our group trip. But show me the totals. Yeah,
I think
so
he's saying saving there, Ronan, saving 1,000 a week. Which I don't know if you want to do that. I don't think a lot of people can afford to save 1,000 a week.
save it. Yeah, no, hold on, spend.
Oh,
Like
you mean
if you
spend a
if you
thousand a
can
week?
save enough to spend $1,000 a
Oh,
week.
that's what you mean.
So if
Okay,
you wanted to go for 3 weeks, you would need $3,000. If you want to go for 2 weeks, you need $2,000.
that sounds about
Um,
right.
for the example, right? Like, um, 3 people going right now with flight and hotels for 18 days is sitting at 4,700 in our little group thing here. So, uh, that's before you even spent anything on meals or anything. You're looking at like 1,500 for the 2 weeks.
That's airfare and the hotels.
Yep.
Okay,
Airfare,
yeah.
hotels, and then a few things that we've had to like pre-book. Like we got a Hokkaido themed dinner. We already bought like the some different train tickets and stuff.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty good price you got. Because I know like the plane ticket is like the most expensive expense.
That's the one that will change if you don't live where I live.
That's
If
true. That's
you
true.
live in Seattle or if you live in LA, your ticket, like the actual flight ticket, an expensive one is like $1,300 nonstop. Whereas like if any farther into the country you are, you're gonna have to add on to that. Anyone know what font Lolly used for this video and all the others? I've been trying to figure it out. I thought it was Impact. It's
I'm
not
not
Impact
sure.
because it's got capitals, unless he's manually making them all larger. Let's ask him.
Leave a comment.
Well, I'll just
Johnson, you're
super chat him real
fired.
quick.
What?
2, 1. Oh no, he's not actually on yet. Never mind.
Put a pin in it.
Right. We'll see if he'll respond to a DM. Because usually I get a simple one-word answer, and a font name's got to be a one-word answer, right?
Yeah. Yes.
This one. Uh,
I will have to check out his high school DxD review. That looks like it's pretty interesting.
oh yeah, font. So many of his videos are they're just fun. Like it's just funny to listen to him talk about it.
Named Irishman and codenamed Weedbro. It was a 4-man group, and altogether the estimated amount for how much it would cost was $16,000. Since, shocker, setting up a vacation for 2 weeks in a foreign country can get pricey. It's always safer
That
to
seems like
overshoot your
so
goal
much
than
money.
undershoot, you know?
Yeah.
But thanks to some sneaky bargain hunting, I managed to actually get a decent place for everybody, along with a round-trip flight both ways. The expectation was $16K, but managed to get both of these for like $9,500. There's some ways I managed to weasel this for
9,500. Okay, let's assume Kentucky.
95 divided by 4.
Yeah.
And did he say that's plane? Is that everything or just the plane and lodging?
That's probably gonna be everything if he's saying that.
Okay, so that's not too bad. It's like 23.75 a person. So
Yeah, for 2 weeks. So I think you're right there basically.
yeah, if you find it out here, like half of that is like your plane ticket, and then the other half is the lodging and the food, and then whatever you buy out there. I guess that's not too shabby.
We'll go out. We'll do a spring trip for this one. Fly out on Thursdays, fly back on Tuesdays. And we'll just do one room, all in Tokyo for right now. Comic Sans for the wind. All right, and then so yeah, from there, you get it down at $2,000 for the Levant. Shinjuku, another 2 grand. You know, you could spend more if you want to be at more interesting. Like you could be at the hotel that has the big Godzilla on it. I usually just stay in Akihabara because it's cooler and more fun up there.
The real cheat code is to stay at business hotels because they're cheaper and a lot of them can have a free breakfast. If you don't care about luxury and you want to save money.
True. True. Those are super cheap. Like there's a APA, that hotel line, you can
Yes,
usually
yeah.
get super cheap. I like this Washington hotel. This is another good one. This is one of those that comes with breakfast and everything, but then you're looking at, 2 grand again. But yeah, from Kentucky, looks like he nailed some decent pricing.
It's not sushi roll, Michael. The breakfast is they're okay. They're like buffet style depending on the hotel.
There's
And
always something weird in them, but usually that you'll have rice, you'll have toast, you'll have
eggs,
eggs, usually scrambled, the
miso.
sausages in a chafing dish.
It's not
Two,
bad.
2 grand to leave Kentucky and spend 2 weeks in Japan with a hotel.
First, I booked several months in advance, specifically in December during holiday season. Tons of hotels do bundle deals during that time to get reservations because sometimes later seasons can get kind of slow, before major summer events or anything.
This might be true. I just know that because we use like trackers and stuff, and I've been enough times in like when we got back from our honeymoon, that was in the fall, and we immediately said we wanted to see every season in Japan. So we went back for spring and then a summer and then a winter trip. Um, but as long as you're within like about 8 months out, 9 months out, baby time basically, you can get some of the best prices. Any farther out than that, and it usually ends up being like a stupid guess as to what prices will be, or any closer and it starts to come back up in prices. The traditional meal fan site, if you want one of those, would be if you get a ryokan experience.
Yeah, the Rokon onsens. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
like a 5-course meal of just random Japanese food that you better be brave enough to try.
Oh yeah, and if you're not brave enough, the mama-san will make you try it, and then you have to tell her no, and you'll feel like you're breaking her heart. The one that got us with that was these little tiny ice fish. They're little tiny grub-looking fish, and they just put them over grated daikon, so like radish basically. So like two flavorless things, and they just pour some ponzu on it. And I was like, "Oh man, Mama-san, I can't eat this." And she's like, "No, you try." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm eating everything else, Mama-san. Just don't make me eat that one."
Yeah.
So like this website, Japanese Guest Houses, is usually a good one to look through. But more and more of these ryokan are actually available at booking.com. Booking.com has
Yes.
a large number of them that you can use. And these are the ones that are going to be, you're in a tatami mat room. You've got a lady that's servicing you the entire time. There's an onsen connected to the hotel. Even the big fancy ones, the small rustic ones, they'll have the hot spring piped in. Very very fun. I've been in those all over the place. Best one was in Jigokudani up in Hokkaido because it was snowing as well while we were there.
Nice.
Things like that, and some of them are pretty nuts. Randy had to pay attention to the fine print because some hotels like to sneak in gratuities or hidden fees.
And a lot of a lot of Japanese places have like an extra little, like, you pay the accommodation tax when you arrive. So just keep an eye on that as well. You may have to, keep 1,000 to 2,000 yen cash on you, which is like, $7 to $14 usually.
Use booking.com for the process, and they claim to disclose every fee, so you're not hit with something you want to.
Booking.com. One more thing on booking.com as well. So again, honeymoon, we went to Japan, and the ryokan we booked through booking.com. Even back then, this was like a decade ago. We we book it, we set it all up, and we're also planning the wedding at the same time. So we're doing all this stuff, and then I get this email a month before we're in Japan that says, "Looking forward to meeting you tomorrow. We have everything set up, and they'll meet you at the door." And I look and I see that I set my dates a month early for just the Ryokan. The only, like, the most, like, exciting thing I was there for, I messed up the dates on. And I'm like in a sweat because of course it's Japan time, so it's like the middle of the night when I get this email, and for some reason I answered it. And so I wake up and I'm like, oh shoot. And so I call booking, and I call booking at like 3 a.m. and somebody answers, like a person who speaks perfect English. And I'm like, oh my God, I did this. I whatever fees I need to pay, can we adjust our dates to the next month? And she's like, okay, yeah, we'll reach out. She reaches out through whatever their thing is, and she was like, there might be a rebooking fee, and they might charge you for the food that they would have already purchased to serve you for the meals, because they buy the foods literally the day before so that it's all super fresh for you when you're there. And I'm just like, whatever. I need the dates to change. I need to know that we can get there when it is. I'll pay whatever. And then the next day we get an email that's like, the booking's been moved. You're good to go for the actual dates that you'll be there, and there's no charges whatsoever. They're gonna serve other people with the food, so no worries there. And you'll come and you'll get your stuff when it happens. No change fee, no fee for the food they bought. It was amazing. It was it was booking.com if you want to call and talk to a human.
Expecting, but truth of the matter is you just won't be sure until you get there. Kind of a funny story is that on the hotel fee, on the actual like itinerary they give you when they email you, it said I owed $27,000, and I was freaking the fuck out for several weeks. But it turns out that was just them fucking up, because it was 27,000 yen, which if you convert that to regular America dollars, it's like maybe $300. Luckily, it wasn't anywhere near as bad as I was expecting, but keeping an extra grand or two as like an emergency fund is just a good idea.
Okay, possibly personal question. Do you keep cash on you, and how much?
Every time I leave my house, I always make sure I have cash on me because Japan is a cash-heavy society.
True.
And I chastise any of my friends that have been here for a year now that don't carry enough cash on them, because then they run into situations where they're like, they run out of money, and it's like, well, you could try using the credit card, but it might not work. Depends on the situation. So I always bring it depends. I always bring about ichimaen to samaen, which is like 10,000 to 30,000 yen.
Mm-hmm.
So about $300 US dollars. Because this is a very cash heavy society. Like a lot of places use it, and you'll find the random spot that's like they only accept cash, but that's just kind of rare. But it's just a lot easier if you're a foreigner and they don't accept like foreign cards or whatever.
Yeah. Now, so I have a card that gets like 0 international fees, but it's sort of been mind blowing in the last, I want to say the last 3 trips we've gone on. So like in the last 4 years, 5 years, how many things we've been able to pay with a card. Because the first time we went, it's like we showed up with like 2 grand in yen, and just as it was coming down, we then would go to these green JP Bank ATMs and use our US debit card to pull out cash anytime we needed it. I would keep about 400 to 500 for the 2 of us, so about 250 each, which is I guess just 50,000 yen basically on us at any time, because you never knew if you were gonna like eat too much and then need a taxi, and the last thing you want to do is to be not being able to pay a bill, right? But I have been surprised about how much like I've been able to use my cards. It's been very surprising. Like I'll go to a place and I'll be like, credit card wa daijoubu desu ka? And you say it as English as you can, so they know that you're trying to use like an international card. And they'll say either hi or yeah, and ask for cash or cashew. It's always very, very fun. But a lot of places now are taking card until you get out a little bit farther from the city.
But if you do go to restaurants like your ramen shops, they use those machines that only
Oh,
accept
yep.
the cash. So you really need to have. I only keep cash on me for like the restaurant experiences, because they use a lot of these self-serve machines.
Yeah, there's like a vending machine outside of the restaurant that has all of the dishes on it, and you'll put cash in and you'll hit the dishes you want and like the beer that you want, and then you give your tickets to the staff and they'll go get your food made for you. And though yes, you're correct. Those do not allow cards either. So keep cash on you. I say at least 25,000 yen per person, or I guess 30,000 yen per person would be a good number.
Also, keep a credit card on hand in case anything happens. You know, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Mindset's good to have. We flew out of Louisville and from there transferred to a different flight out of Chicago. And we did get lucky with the delays where we had plenty of time to catch our breath and figure out where to go next without being, you know, stuck in the airport. Layovers can be annoying, but having one isn't the worst, especially if you're going to an airport you never went to before and you have no idea where you're going. But once we were up in the air and going to Tokyo, it was said and
I love this. The new 87. That roof line is so nice.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a plane otaku, but
done. It was just a 13-hour flight. I found out the hard way I can't sleep on a plane. Like, at all. Had to binge the last season of Better Call Saul just to pass the time. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all. So the specific...
I also do not sleep on planes. I don't know about
Yeah,
you.
same.
I just sit there and I put on like something slow and boring like Dune and just let it play.
On repeat for like
Yep.
13 hours.
Well, I mean, that's like 2 watchings of Dune, right?
Sure.
Specific hotel we stayed at was the Tobu Levant, which is in the dead middle
We just looked at that one. Look at that. That was one
Nice.
of the cheaper ones.
of Tokyo, in a district called Kinchicho, I think it was. It was a 30-minute walk from the Sky Tree, and our room actually had a view of it, and it was pretty cool. Plus, it was right across the street from a bunch of different restaurants and stores. Hell, on the...
Yeah, let's pull up the Sumida Ward. If you knew how they're hiring pilots right now, you definitely wouldn't sleep. See, the difference is I know the guys that work on the wire, so I'll let the computer fly me around. Okay, so here's the Tobu Hotel Levant in this area. This is okay, I would say. Knowing what I know now at this point in my travels, I would always stick your hotel on the Yamanote line somewhere. So whether that's next to the Akihabara station, the Ueno station, the Shinjuku station, Shibuya, kind of like pick one of the stations that's on the green line, and find a hotel that's close to that.
Yeah, that's very smart.
Because there's always a Tokyo Metro line that's close to a JR station. But sometimes you get a little too far away. Like the first couple times we stayed in Japan, we stayed in Ningyocho down here. And Ningyocho has the Tokyo Metro stations, which are super convenient, unless you want to go to like a specific location. Then you have to like change 6 trains, versus if you're on like next to a JR rail, it's basically like you take the JR and you get on one other train and you're there. So any of these stations, if you just type in Yamanote line, it'll pull up all of the list. Like I said, I usually stay at Akihabara, but we've been in a bunch of these.
On the second floor platform, they had a Family Mart not even a stone throw away from the door. You essentially had a Walgreens stitched to the hotel you could walk to, and you didn't have to worry about getting wet if it rained. It was pretty sweet. Now, the obvious thing to get out of the way is the language barrier and currency exchange. In our experience, language wasn't too much of a problem in Japan.
Never is. If you can remember Doko desu ka, which means where is this? And again, speak like you're an American. Don't show up like, oh, doko desu ka? Like, don't speak like you're from Japan, because then someone will say something in a way that you'll have no idea what they're talking about. But if you're like, sumimasen, doko desu ka? They'll and you point on a map, they'll be like, oh, and they'll talk to you like you're a kindergartner, which will be great. Don't speak too fast. Don't speak too good. But just remember the Blaine and Katie list of words. Where's the bathroom? How much is this? All that kind of stuff.
That everyone spoke fluent English, more that it was clear that the people were used to dealing with foreigners that couldn't speak Japanese. They were quick to gesture to signs or give simple phrases that point you where you needed to go. So, for example, if you went into the Family Mart to buy a drink, then they would say something like swipe card or do you need bag. Easy sentences you catch on to. Plus, the actual registers would display text in Japanese and English, which helped a lot. As stated, it's clear how aware they are of foreigners who have trouble grasping the language. The actual staff at the hotel spoke it pretty well. The lady at the counter who checked us in even gave advice on how to avoid an upcharge when I paid for the room. Apparently,
and remember the phrase, "Ego ga jozu desu ne." Okay?
No, don't remember that. It's so stupid.
They love hearing that, and they'll give you a cookie if you say it. You don't get cookies when you use that phrase?
No, because I blend in out here. I don't act like a normal
You blend in.
tourist.
No, see, if you're at the hotel and the person speaks great English and you're like, "Oh, ego ga jozu desu ne," they'll be like, "Oh," and they'll give you like an umbrella. They'll give you something.
Oh my
It's all-
goodness.
they always give you something. It means your English is good, or you speak good English. And they'll say the same thing to you if you try to speak Japanese. No matter how bad or how shitty it is when you say it, they'll say, "Oh, Nihongo jozu desu." And you're like, "Nah, yeah. I know you're lying to me, bro. I know."
paying in USD let you avoid taxes if you paid in yen, which was cool. She was nice. She was also kind of pretty, and not even gonna lie. The currency exchange was easy
Most of
too.
the women
Stores
in
could take our
Japan.
debit
What?
He's like, she was kind of nice, and not gonna lie, she was kind of pretty. It's like that's most of the women in Japan.
Especially the ones that work at hotels. They
Yeah.
don't put ugly people at the front desk.
That is very true.
cards because they were visas, so it's not really doing anything different from going to the store normally. Only real thing to watch out for is big purchases, like if you wanted to buy a very expensive bottle of booze, because even if you make your bank aware that you're going overseas, they'll freak out and halt some transactions, which is, on one hand, annoying. But on the other, it's weird to get mad about that because they think they're trying to keep you from losing money. Still,
That's one I don't think I've ever run into. But I guess my card is like a travel specific card. It's like a World Master card, so like the idea of it being used in when I go to like Canada or Japan isn't that crazy.
But for actual currency exchange, there was a terminal in the hotel. We were worried about not finding a place to swap when we first arrived, but they actually popped up in more than a few places. In the hotel, in some stores, I think there was even some in the metro terminals. Now for
You ding dong, I told you, don't use those. I told him, I said, just bring your debit card, your US debit card, and use the Green Bank or the 7-Eleven bank, and you'll get charged like a $3.50 fee, but you won't be charged like a percentage. If he says that those cash exchangers like charge a percentage, oh,
That's weird, because ever since I've been here, I just go to 7-Eleven and take out money there, and I pay a fee.
Exactly.
And that's it. There's
and
no
it's like a
reason to
flat
go
fee
anywhere
too,
else.
so you can pull out like, you know, $1,000 and it will still be the same like $3 or whatever.
Yeah.
what we actually did, for the first day or two, we were completely knocked out due to jet lag. It fucked us up bad, to the point we had to force ourselves to wake up and get breakfast in the hotel. Which I will say, the Tobu Levant has a pretty good fucking breakfast. They have like actual chefs make it, you know, like dudes who know how to cook. And
See, he's got
There
the
you go,
yogurt
Michael.
with some pineapple. He's got like the croissant. Coffee and like the clear cups. I
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
pretty funny.
it was really good. There were also little robots that would take your dishes, and that was the best part. I love that little robot.
These
They
guys
were
are great.
seriously considering stealing it.
AG1 is so much more than a greens powder. In one single scoop, it delivers daily multivitamins, pre and probiotics.
Regardless, the point is we had to work our asses off towards just fixing our internal clock so we can actually do things. There's a reason I picked like 2 weeks, even though when I was talking to my family about this trip, they were insisting I do it for 5 days. Where I'm
Ugh. Oh, if
That's
you're
a
gonna spend the
crazy
money
family.
to fly outside of the country, like make sure you have some time off. That would be insane. Just do 5 days.
That's so expensive. 5 days?
Yeah,
Holy
because the
cow.
flight doesn't like get cheaper just because it's closer together. Like that's not how that works. His family's insane, but they are
Yeah.
from Kentucky, so I guess it's par for the course. But he did the right thing to do a fairly long trip. I always recommend, and I put this in my emails to him as well, is that like when you land, we land and then we'll go do some stuff outside and try to stay up as long as possible before we go back and go to sleep, because coming from the PST and heading over to Japan, my body naturally wakes up at like 5 a.m. And over here, over stateside, my body naturally wakes up at like 10 a.m. So it's like, oh, it's time to be up, and you're just like, oh shoot, I can't go back to bed. So what we usually do is we plan our trip around the fact that we're going to be up super early those first few days. So we'll go to like the fish market, we'll go to Skiji, we'll go to some of the places like the gardens will open really early. Shinjuku Gyoen opens nice and early. And anything you want to go see before there's a bunch of tourists around, usually a good idea. But all of Japan opens at 10 a.m. Like if
That's true.
you want to go to a store, it's gotta be 10 a.m. or later. Otherwise, you're gonna be staring at a closed and locked door.
I'm just like, no, I'm not going to a foreign fucking country halfway across the world for less than a week. Yeah, very big warning, don't take jet lag lightly. It's a vicious mistress that will fuck you up sideways. You will fall asleep at 5 in the afternoon and wake up at 4 a.m. wide awake. Your brain's gonna be scrambled for a bit until you get used to their time zone. Best you can do is force yourself outside, get sunlight, and drink a lot of water, which is...
And again, force yourself to stay up. Like, take all the energy drinks and the coffee, the sugars, stay up until like 10 p.m., crash, and then should get a little bit more normal over there.
Which is actually funny in our case, because as soon as we got into the country, a fucking typhoon hit. Not even kidding, a full-blown typhoon. Woke up the second day to see our floor on the hotel was engulfed in a cloud. Plus side, gave us an excuse to sleep in. Downside, we thought it would be a smart idea to walk around in said typhoon to get a grasp of the area, because we were used...
I've told my typhoon story before. Same thing. We landed, and the next day it was a typhoon, and we walked in that typhoon from Ningyocho by foot all the way to Skiji.
Sheesh.
People died in that typhoon, but not us, because we're from Seattle, and the rains bend to our will.
used to America rain, where it's an issue but not really anything bad unless it's a full-blown storm. Turns out Japan leans more on that side, because by the end of the walk we were a bunch of wet dogs. Humidity alone made our clothes sopping wet, and the rain only made it worse. It was a miserable experience walking around, and we...
And even if you grab an umbrella, like those typhoons, they killed 3 of our umbrellas. Just, not even just inverted, because like an inverted umbrella you can save, but like inverted and like snapped the arms of the umbrella.
soon understood the importance of those umbrellas they sold everywhere. Also, the walking in general. Yeah, Japan's a very walk-heavy nation. If you're not used to it and you have bad shoes, you're not gonna have a fun time. Which applied to me in both cases. Yeah, I got so bad I had to go to a department store next to the hotel and pick up a new pair of shoes. It was fucking misery on my feet. I already walked on rubber for a bit, since my old soles were so worn down. The rest of the group was way more used to the walking, so they didn't have many issues. Yeah.
I don't know what you end up clocking in now that you like live there, but anytime that I'm taking somebody for a tour of Japan, 30,000 steps a day is what I expect you to be doing up until the day we leave. And any day in Japan will be 18,000 to that 30,000 number. But that 30,000 number is the longest that we'll typically walk for a single day. And then you'll have other days that are a little more relaxing where you'll maybe get, you know, like 7,000 steps, 5,000 steps because you're at an onsen or something. So you're not really going around too much. But yeah, walking is...
keep an eye on that.
That is that it's like I will buy someone a Fitbit and then monitor the fact that like you better be putting in those steps, because I've traveled with people that haven't put in the steps, and you can tell they are not ready and they have not put in the steps.
Yes.
DR, I think it was you was asking about the font. Lolly says should be Gobold Bold, if he remembers correctly.
Yeah, I haven't done a like touristy type trip like this in forever, so this coming September is gonna be interesting to see how many steps I'll clock for like the 3 days I'll be in Tokyo.
That'll be yeah, that will be interesting too. Cause it's like when you're there, you know, what you walk to your car or you walk to the train station and then you go to work and you come back and you're hanging out at home, like you walk in, like how far is it from like the train station to like where you work? Like I'm picturing, you know, a 10,000 step day to be very normal for a Japanese person, but then when you're also trying to go from like this thing to this attraction to this attraction to this attraction, that it just sort of, you know, like I said, we can hit
Multiplies.
easily 30,000 steps.
Yeah, I was like miles behind them the whole time. It was pretty embarrassing. But this was a ways into the trip, so the first several days it was just enduring some of the worst shoes for walking that you could have possibly had. But the first goal of the trip was the Skytree.
Oh, and also don't buy good shoes for the trip that you've never worn.
Yeah.
If you're going to buy it, you're like, oh, these are like the best walking shoes I can get. Wear them. Prove that they're the best walking shoe. I don't want you breaking in your shoes for the first like 2 days while you're like, oh, I don't know if I like these. It's like, ah.
Yeah, you'll hate yourself. You'll really hate yourself if you do that.
Yeah, and I'm fine wearing shoes that either slip on or that I have to tie. But you will be taking your shoes on and off. So if you wear like tennis shoes like I do and you want to tie them, just be ready to be tying them on and off, and get used to that. Or do the thing that a lot of people do and just buy some like nice slip-ons. Vans. I think Reebok has that new one where like the back of the heel actually like cups up or something. There's options.
Because it was literally staring us in the face. Just a quick little walk, and we were right there. It also kind of let us get a vibe of the place, letting us get into the atmosphere and enjoy the walk. Took a bunch of pictures, and that was cool. Got some shrines, a graveyard, various alleys. It was just kind of fun looking around. Because yeah, it's completely different from how our town structure looks in America. Granted, this was also in the middle of a major city, so that also played a factor, but you get my point. It looked different than what we used to, so ape brain go ooh. The Skytree itself was actually pretty damn fun.
That is so true.
Yeah.
It's such a weird way to say it, but that is definitely a thing that happens where you're just like, yeah, this cool. Why? I don't know. Like it's a cone. The fact that their street cones are green, you're like, whoa, look at these. And you like take a picture of them. You got like a video, you got a selfie with it. You're like, why did I do that? It's a cone.
Have you seen the ones where whenever they're doing construction, they're attached by like a hoop pole or something?
Oh yeah. It's like so like between these cones are gonna be like a PVC stick. Like there'll be this stick like this. Here's a cone and here's a cone. And the stick usually has like stripes on it. And then there's like a little like circle on either end of the stick. And they build like a little like a row of these between all the cones. And it's just like this new little fenced off area. Or like the flagger guy that's just a robot. Like it's just an arm that like swings back and forth and it says slow.
Tower is connected to this mall underneath that's a major tourist destination. There was even a magic show. Tons of tour groups had the same idea of going to the Skytree. There was even a little kid who kept walking up to us and like waving, and his dad kept...
Oh, there they are. There they are right there. Those are the thingies.
Trying to like shush him away, but he kept running back. It was funny, and we felt really bad for the dad. But still, it was a hassle getting into the tree itself. The view of the city, though, made it all worth it. Also, two of my buddies nearly had panic attacks due to being freaked out by the heights, so that was funny. Still, the tower itself was split between two levels. You had the general floor, which had like a snack bar and a gift shop, and was packed with people. But the level above it was more focused and sort of a quick walk around the tower's near tip. It had some collaboration with Disney going on at the time, so it was filled with a bunch of decorations with Disney princesses.
Is there just always collabs going on in these things?
Yes, I think when I went many years ago, it was so it was Where's Waldo, but in Japan they call him Wall-E.
Where's Wally?
Yeah, I don't know why, but it was I think if I remember correctly, it was Where's Waldo, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
um,
If I have a
and
photo,
and
I'll
it's
find
all
it.
of them too. Like the Senkaku Tower in Osaka there, that is like where Ultimate Muscle is situated. That's like his tower. It always has an Ultimate Muscle thing. But we went up to the top this last time, and it had this whole thing on like these hamsters that are like cars, and I was like, I don't even know what these is. Let me see if I can figure it out. Japan?
I'll find the Waldo thing. I think I have a photo of it.
Pui Pui Mole Car is what it's called. Um, this thing. Oh, why is my Windows on top of Windows? Where these hamsters are cars. This was like the special collab event at one of the towers this last time I went. And they just have pictures of it everywhere. It's always super funny. Tokyo Tower's the same way. Skytree looks like it's the same way.
They one thing I like about Japan is they're very appreciative, or they have they like to campaign the old American cartoon type stuff. So like you see Snoopy everywhere.
Oh
You'll
yeah.
see the Waldo, because I consider that old as well. You'll see Smurfs, um, Winnie the Pooh, like a lot of like the old stuff that's like from the like our parents' generation or grandparents' generation. They still like have a lot of appreciation for it.
And it won't just be there. It'll have like its own store.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised. Like, there's a lot of peanuts, like shops, like gift shops all over Japan. I thought that was kind of more of like a Tokyo thing, but there was one like all the way in Hokkaido, and a lot of those shops they have like cafes and or they sell like some edible stuff, and it's just weird. Like, why is this like so popular here? But I guess because it's a cute thing for women and whatnot to give to each other.
Yeah. Or like kids. Something maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
There, now you got a name tag.
And stuff like that. Yeah, it was kind of cool. A little cheesy, but fuck it, it was a tourist spot. Skytree is definitely a spot to check out since you really see how far the entire city stretches. It can mess.
Plus, I think it's right next to the Asahi building, which looks like a giant beer. And next to the Asahi building is the.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, so here is the. This is the Sky Tower in the background. Then there's the Asahi building, which looks like a big foaming beer. And then next to it, they're like meeting rooms. Is like, this is all the rentable meeting rooms that they use. Has like a giant daikon, like it's a little snack.
That's pretty cool.
And all that straight across the street, or straight across the river from Asakusa, which is a really good temple. Really fun place to go.
With your head, in a good way. Now, after the Skytree was our journey to the Promised Land, the thing Japan is known for across the world and the must-stop destination for anyone who even thinks about going. That's right, Don Quixote.
Yes! Okay, now that you live there, do you go to Don Quixote all the time?
No, never.
I have a fucking Don Quixote shirt.
I know
Bright
you do.
orange. Love it.
People like you are weird. I don't understand the obsession with Don Quixote.
It's so useful. Like, we go and we like we're like, oh, we got too much stuff. We gotta get a bag so we can put all our dirty clothes in like one bag, and then we can come back because we didn't like pack a duffel on this trip. And we go, and for $10 we get like a 30-liter duffel bag. Like, I don't know where else you get stuff that cheap, that good, that quick.
I mean, I will acknowledge that there is some interesting stuff there, but I don't find myself ever really walking into there unless I'm looking for a specific item that I
Yeah.
don't want to spend a lot of money on. But I don't go there I go to Daiso a lot because it's the 100
That's
coin
true.
shop.
So like this fall, we're going for Halloween. I'm gonna go to Don Quixote and get a costume. I'm gonna
So
find like
that's
the
a good
most
place to find
American
it.
costume that they have.
That's exactly the perfect place to find it because I always see funny stuff there around that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For those unaware, Don Quixote
It also has a theme song. Dun dun dun, Donkey, Don Quixote. It's a great song.
is a major store brand in Japan. There's locations in other countries. Apparently, there's even one in Hawaii. But most everybody who isn't from Japan might only recognize it from the Yakuza games. Well, we actually had a Don Quixote right across the street from the hotel, and we made an effort to go over there and see if it lives up to the hype. I will say, it's an interesting place. You can buy chips, drinks, hard liquor, cosplay stuff, sex toys. It really has everything. We actually went to 2 of these. One in the area our hotel was at in Kinchicho, and later a much larger one in Yokohama. That was straight up a big grocery store with multiple floors. And that was cool because it sold grain liquor by entire liters.
I love the 3-liter.
Yeah, that is really funny to see that.
I've started just buying the 2 liters now because of the import limit. So I can buy exactly up to the, because the first time I went, I was like, I could buy a 4-liter, but it's like I can bring back like 5 or 6, I think, on the last trip, and I was like, oh well, I can do 2 liters and then 1 liter. Like, it made more sense. Why is it called Don Quixote? You know, penguins.
I think alcoholism might be an issue over there. Still, Don Quixote was fun. Even if the aisles weren't built for big fat Americans, yeah, when it got busy, it could definitely feel suffocating. And yes, there were multiple flavors of Kit Kats. It's almost obligatory to mention how many variations of Kit Kats you can find in Japan. Sake flavored ones weren't bad, but the strawberry shortcake ones were a million times better. I will fight entire
Banana ones are
wars
really
on
good.
this.
I like the banana flavored one.
You like the banana?
And I think you can only find that at Narita Airport or
Oh, the
Banana.
Tokyo Station for the Tokyo Banana.
Maybe, yeah, maybe there. But like you can't find them like at the regular store or whatever. I sent you a photo on Twitter.
Yeah, let me pull it
So
up.
people, if they don't believe me about Wally,
Where's Wally? You're like, I don't know, man. Waldo's standing right there, though. Like, why? Who cares? Yeah, but do you have the strawberry shortcake ones in a Tokyo Tower Mount Fuji themed Twin Towers package? Why?
No.
Why are the Twin Towers on this package? That doesn't make any sense.
I'm trying to think what towers those are.
Because you got Tokyo Tower. You got Fuji. You got the Sakura Blossoms.
Oh, it's the Akasaka. Akasaka Twin Towers, maybe?
Okay.
Or the Toho Twin Towers?
Not the Akasaka one, I don't think. Maybe the Tokyo Metropolitan Building?
Yeah, maybe. You might be right.
It's more like this.
The
It's
government
sort of like
building.
half 2 towers.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's right. It has to be that one.
Okay. We solved it, team. You can go to the top of that building for free.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that, but that's kind of cool.
It's a bit of a walk to go from the Shinjuku station to that building, considering it's just like you will go up to the top of it and you can look. It's like, whoa, look, I can see the town. It's like I'd rather be in the town than looking at the town. So it's an annoying walk for me. However, it is a view if you're a viewfinder. It's not Don Quixote, you know, the errant knight charging at windmills he mistakes for giants. I don't know who that is. Some kind of windmill chaser man? No, Don Quixote's a penguin. Don Quixote's the penguin.
Still, it was our first experience dealing with a Japanese store, especially a big city one. America stores, in small towns where we're at, can be very compact. You have single floor, your aisles, and that was it. Find your shit, get out. Don Quixote, even the one across from our hotel, had multiple floors, each one being a different department, so like electronics be on the 3rd floor, food and snacks on the 4th, booze and sex stuff on the 5th, you get the idea. Sex stuff isn't a joke, by the way. They straight up had vibrators and like cosplay for sex.
Well, they also have the curtain. You gotta go through the curtain in order to get in there.
And sometimes it's not a curtain. Like, sometimes you're just coming down the stairs and there's the section. And it just has like a little sign that says like 18 only with the 2 hands. And you're like, what is this sign doing here, man? Like, you can just walk by and look. That's a cock bottle opener. I got my friend one of those. I was like, here you go, bro. Use a dick to open your bottles.
There are also bottle openers shaped like dicks. We ended up coming here more than a few times, mainly because it had more stuff than the family mart.
Also, when you're on a vacation, like, I'm sure you know, like, some grocery store where you can get, like, a better deal and stuff. But, like, for me, I love, like, the Kirin Fire coffee drink. That's one of my favorites. And you can get, like, the 6-pack at a Don Quixote for way cheaper than buying them individually at a Family Mart every day.
Oh yeah, because the combini is like really expensive if you compare it to like the normal supermarket or even Don Q. So
Yeah, I just sometimes like a supermarket, like when your hotel is in Akihabara, is not a thing you can go to. So I'll just
yeah,
dunk you and
no, that's a smart move. Like if Don Q is the only thing that's around, go there. You'll save a good amount of money and you'll have a lot of variety, more than the supermarket sometimes.
you always have a fridge in your hotel room. I have yet to be in a hotel room that doesn't have an empty fridge, so you can go and you can get like a 6-pack of like
Well, hold on a second.
Pocari
They're
Sweat.
tiny.
They are
Don't get these
tiny.
guys' hopes up. They're really tiny, so you gotta be real careful how much you
They're
buy.
mini fridges, but you have to realize that here in America, you'll have a fridge that is full of alcohol that if you touch it will charge you for it, and you get one tiny shelf in the door. So the fact that you get the entire mini fridge for yourself, that's huge for an American traveler. But yeah, the go get some like hydrating drinks, go get some like coffees for the morning. I also like the their R1 yogurt. That's my favorite one. It's
Yeah.
sort of like a drinkable yogurt deal. I'll grab a few pack of those and we'll leave them in the hotel. That way you can just have a quick breakfast, so you don't have to go back.
Don Q's cool too because they got some foreign import stuff. I don't know if he'll mention it in the video, but you can find like some random candy and chocolate from around the world or from the US or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Our company stores were named after the hero in Miguel de Cervantes' novel, whose corresponds to ourselves, defying unfair restrictions and regularity, brave and aggressive, offering challenges to the conventional retail industry. Like I said, Don Quixote Penguin. That's mind-blowing that it actually has to do with Windmill Night. I had no idea.
Mart, and it gave us an excuse to get out and get fresh air. Now, the subject I'm excited to talk about is the food. The food was some of the greatest shit I've ever eaten in my whole life.
True.
No exaggeration. Because we were dumb Americans who couldn't read signs, we didn't really go out to eat much, mostly just relied on delivery apps like DoorDash or...
What?
Oh my goodness. Cringe.
What?
What are you doing?
I showed you how to get a Wi-Fi pocket router that you're supposed to keep with you so you could just talk your way through the things. Every meal should be done outside of your hotel.
whatever the equivalent was, so we don't remember the actual names of places. Also, it was all in kanji, so that really didn't help. Still, the standouts were as follows. Actual legit ramen, beef bowl, Japanese-style pizza, which was just...
Okay, the Japanese Pizza Huts and Domino's are really fun. Because mentaiko is a, like, chili oil cured cod roe sack. And it's kind of salty, kind of spicy and fishy. Super weird, but super good.
Japanese pizza is ridiculous.
I will vouch for picking up one of those and going back to your hotel just because you're like, let's just get some pizza. That one's okay.
It's overpriced, though. You gotta be careful.
Oh,
Pizza
yeah.
in Japan is really expensive.
And it's overhyped size-wise. You're like, oh, I'll have a family-sized pizza. And they give you a fucking 9-inch. And you're like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this personal pan? Like,
Here's the cheat code, all right? And they still have this. Domino's New York size pizza, which is basically an American large. It's 40 centimeters. I don't know how much that is in inches. It's if you do carry out, it's half price, so it's only like $15. And it's a massive pizza. Like one American can eat the whole thing and be satisfied. Like that's the cheapest deal I found for a pizza in Japan that
That's
actually
hilarious.
tastes good.
yeah, it is also sacrilege and blasphemy. The first pizza we ever had, we went to this really nice Italian restaurant in like right on Dotonbori. And it was like really good pasta. Everything was great. And then the pizza came. And the pizza dough was like phyllo bread, like flaky phyllo bread. And the cheese was like a Havarti. It had like a sandwich cheese taste to it. And then it had like some mushrooms and some meat on it or whatever. But it was like just getting past that weird croissant style crust was the weirdest thing I've ever had in my life. 40 centimeters at the circumference of the diameter of the pizza. Whichever one makes it smaller, that's always the answer. You always end up with the smaller version. Serranos, it will be a challenge to gain weight because at the same time that I'm eating 3 meals a day, where the first meal is a mountain of pancakes and bubble tea type stuff, the next meal is just cramming as much sushi in me until I pop, and the dinner is a bowl of ramen bigger than my stomach. I'm also putting on 20 to 30,000 steps a day, huffing around town, and you're gonna burn it all off. You need those calories to get around Japan. Plus the street stall snacking. When you walk by and they're having like the Torinoichi festival, and you're like, "Oh, that skewer smells really damn good. Oh, is that a bunch of little tiny pancakes, but they're like little balls that they fry up into little? Oh my gosh, I'll try some of that." Like, it gets so good every time.
5 meals a day, yeah, that's the way to do it.
True. Look, honey, mentaiko pizza.
No.
Waifu doesn't like mentaiko, but I love it. Would you rather have mentaiko pizza or the first pizza we had in Japan?
Oh. Well, that was basically like puff pastry.
Yeah, the puff pastry pizza.
Probably the mentaiko pizza because it actually looks like real crust.
Okay.
You can cover anything in sauce.
You can cover anything in sauce.
Just eh.
Oh yeah, the taxis anywhere are expensive too. Like even Hakodate, I had to take a taxi one time because the trains were done, and then also in Kyoto, we were trying to go to a place, and like it was bus after bus of just packed bus, and I was like, enough, we're taking a taxi. And the taxi went like I want to say a mile, and it cost $15.
It's expensive, yeah.
Not really worth mentioning. And tonkatsu, cafe-style sandwich, and coffee, and yakisoba, and some other stuff was mixed in as well, like various snacks and things like that. Melon bread is really good, and I will be ordering a whole bunch off Amazon. I don't give a fuck anymore. And most all of it was pretty damn tasty. The beef bowl and ramen being absolute favorites that I still think about to this day. I mean, yeah, real legit ramen is a...
All right.
Rickshaw prices, I don't know. I think rickshaw is more expensive than the taxi.
Yeah, rickshaw price just depends on how attractive you are. If you're hot, you can get on for free.
You got what it takes there, Serranos?
You want to shake it? You want to shake it, see what you get? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lolly. The frickin' to-go ramen that you're showing here, sacrilege.
Yeah.
Sacrilege!
What? Yeah, sad.
Hold on, I'm scrolling.
Dude, I'm gonna send you photos of my ramen. All right.
I
I'll
know.
send you.
I'm trying to find Bankara ramen. It's my go-to in Akihabara because we stayed right next to it every time. I'm sure it tasted fine, but this is coming from a guy who lives in Kentucky. Like, I don't know that we trust his ramen aficionadoing. Boop, boop, finish. Here we go.
Oh, you know what? I should probably post them on the Discord because of the Twitter like message limit, right?
Oh, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Can I just DM you on Discord then?
Sure.
Okay.
DM or throw it in, share your stuff. Here is ramen. This is pork belly ramen. I get the extra thick, rich one. They got the onsen tamago in there. That's the onsen, like, soft-boiled egg. This place at Bankara has that basket full of raw garlic at the table that you can just keep cracking into your bowl of ramen there. Oh, it's so good. So freaking delicious. You can see here's a rare glimpse at me and my not Japanese wife. Here's our bowls of ramen and our beers. This is my flight suit. I found this t-shirt and shorts combo at a like a Marshalls in Vegas, and I was like, anytime I fly from now on, I'm wearing this. So that's my
I
flight
posted
suit.
in the Discord channel. I posted like 4 out of some of the ones that I've ate over the years.
Do. Then this was breakfast one day. It was just a bunch of different cuts of tuna in a bowl.
That looks actually really good.
This is the sushi zanmai. So like the guy that's like, I'm the sushi man who buys like the most expensive sushi every year.
Yes.
There's definitely better, but it was pretty dang good. So here's bowl the first. We got a thin noodle. You get your noodles like kata or whatever, where they're a little harder, or
No, I like them soft.
nice. Ooh, is this some kind of nuts on top?
So I went to that shop. It was called like Rainbow Ramen Shop, and like they took a color.
The rainbow ramen place
No, it
dips
was
their
really good.
nuts in your ramen.
They took a color like yellow, red, black, purple, and green, and each of them was a different type of ramen dish. So this was, I think, yellow, and I don't remember what the vegetable highlight was, because the black one was like sesame, and then the red one was something spicy, and I think purple was probably like sweet potato, and then,
Yeah.
anyways, it was really good.
2 big chunks of pork in that one. That's delicious. Ooh.
That one was overkill.
Where did you get this one? That looks
Oh.
amazing.
Here, I'll be right back.
And then there's also this one which has weird. Is that a Parmesan on a ramen? We'll have him explain that one when he comes back. That's a crazy compelled to bully me for that outfit. Yeah, you can bully me all you want, but at least you can find me when I'm walking around anywhere. You can never be like, oh, sorry, I lost you while we were walking through the airport. It's like, no, you didn't, bitch. Look at this thing.
A step above just the cheap crap you pick up for like 80 cents for a cheap lunch. Came with cooked chicken and a bone broth. Yeah, it was insanely good. Now, learning how to use the chopsticks to eat wasn't too painful. It definitely was awkward at first, but give it some time and
The trick is don't use the chopsticks to eat. Use the chopsticks to scoop. Just hold the bowl next to your mouth and drink while you're just shoving stuff closer to your mouth. If you can't use chopsticks where you're like picking up dice or rice or whatever you want to practice with, just hold the bowl or plate close and shove the food into your hole.
soon. It's something you don't really even
That's why
think
I was
about.
lost.
It's just about realizing how to place your pointer finger, and from there your hand kind of just naturally adjusts your placement. It still is a hassle, and it's going to take some time and some tinkering, but so long as you stick with it, you'll pick it up pretty easily. Regardless, even the local places kick the ass of a lot of fast food places back in America. Maybe it's just from trying it the first time or what, but it really was a noteworthy piece of the trip. We did also try Japanese Burger King.
We always do Japanese McDonald's because they always have some kind of special.
All right, sorry, I'm back. Had a package delivered.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
um,
We're at
So-
the McDonald's part unless you want to go back to what is this ramen? What is this like Parmesan coated ramen here?
so that one is my favorite one of all time, and you cannot find it anymore. It was at a Chinese restaurant. It's a Don Don. Do you know about Don Don?
Like I think
Spicy
we spell it
ramen.
tauntaun, like
Or
T-A-N,
tauntaun,
T-A-N.
Tauntaun. So this is tomato and cheese ramen, and it's absolutely amazing. Like for something as strange as it sounds, but yeah, there's cheese on top, and then tomato chunks, and then like mincemeat on it,
Mm-hmm.
and oh my goodness! But the Chinese restaurant chain doesn't sell it anymore, so like it's gone forever.
Oh no, it's so sad.
Yep. Oh, you said we're at the McDonald's. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, so they went to Burger King.
Oh, Burger King
We
is really good.
we always go to McDonald's and then go to Karan Sake Market where it's all you can drink sake. But they don't have food. They're like, bring your own food. So we'll go and we'll get like a teriyaki McBurger or a Loco Moco Tropical Blue Hawaiian set.
I
You know,
just tried that. It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Zakugiri, potato and beef. Look at they put a hash brown. They
Yeah,
put a
dude.
hash brown with cream. Look at this. I want that, and I want to be drinking gallons of sake while I eat this. Holy crap!
Were you mentioning something like seasonal? Because when I put my headset on, you said something about seasonal or
I was just saying every time we go, there's something else on the menu that I don't see in America. Like one time is the extra spicy chicken nuggets.
Yes.
And now, like if I was there right now, I'd be getting this there's a hash brown on the fucking burger. It's so good. You always have to stop by and at least see what the special is. You might want it.
And that came with like a entire pound size.
Oh, the,
That's
if you want
overkill.
the strong magma, this looks good. But there's another what is it? LOTTE? Is that the burger chain?
Lateria?
Lateria.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Lateria
Lateria.
has the Mount Fuji burger.
Lateria is
Uh,
really good.
It was like 11 patties or something stupid like that. like why did they build this sandwich? There's a burger, a shrimp patty, a rib, another burger patty, like an egg, ham. Like what? Why? What is this for?
Yeah, I've never seen that, so that must be pretty old. Like
Yeah,
at
it
least
was
I don't see it on the menu these days.
many moons ago.
Burger with like 4 patties that, oh god, I don't want to think about that anymore. And we did try Japanese KFC. It was pretty mid. It tastes
Yeah, because Korean fried chicken has become the new KFC.
Yes.
As nice as it is when you're like, oh, I'll have some KFC. Like, you can know what you're ordering, that kind of stuff. There's gonna be a better place where you can just get some karaage, their little fried chicken at an izakaya, or a Korean fried chicken place. It's gonna be tastier.
I like how he said there, like, Japan out-Americaing us with the hamburger photo. Like, I've been to some banger hamburger shops out here that like put a lot of American ones to shame. Just it's really really good,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not chains like fast food chains. They're like normal restaurant type chains, and they're really really good.
This is the one that I would not let us be defeated when I went. I was like, sumo-sized fry, and it showed like 4 hands reaching in. I was like, hell, I'm sharing that with anybody. I'm
What
gonna
is
eat
that like
bitch.
too large
It-
in US?
It's basically 2 larges, and like this sumo container has like a bridge of cardboard, making sure that it doesn't collapse. That's how big it is.
That's awesome.
tasted like a less greasy version of American KFC, so there you go. Official Kentuckian review of Japanese KFC. It was mid. Now, in regards to the metro system, it wasn't too bad. It took a little bit of getting used to with figuring out what lines go on to where and where they lead, but it's simple enough. As stated, a lot of the signs are in Japanese and English, so it's pretty easy to keep a note in your head of where you're going. You don't have to stumble around looking for a way to translate everything, and it is pretty dirt cheap. Unless you're going somewhere crazy far away, most tickets didn't cost more than like 200 yen, which isn't even $2 there. And yeah, those trains could get super crowded. That urban legend is proven true. The amount of molestations, still undecided. I need to remember what was a molestation and what was just some old guy trying to get his phone. Sometimes of days outright became walking into a fishnet. Everyone squished against each other. In regards to that thing where you're not supposed to talk on the train, it was sort of hit and miss. Some people didn't give a fuck and had full conversations, others rode it dead silent. Thing we learned while over there is that you won't know if a lot of the urban legends about Japan are true until you get there and you just stumble around like an idiot. Even then, it's a coin flip if you'll run into anything or not. Shocker, reality's more complicated than just having every television show on the planet mention the panty vending machines. I mean, there were a shitload of vending machines, but they didn't sell panties, mostly Pocari Sweat, which I'm now...
I've
Since he's
never
moving-
seen
it's-
them.
It sounds like he's moving on from trains. But so the trains, it is rush hour trains, like there is a time period when you go to the train where it's just like you cram in like a sardine. When you're there on vacation, you can usually get around rush hour. You usually don't have to be traveling when everyone else is, and you can usually avoid, being in the sardine can. But sometimes you will. Sometimes you will. So don't be scared to be bumping into people, rubbing up on people because everyone's just like, standing room only. Take your backpack off if you have a backpack and hold it in front of you.
Yes,
Do
please do that.
yeah,
Please do that.
do all the polite stuff to make sure you take up as little space as possible. And when it comes to like don't talk on the train, it's just read the room. Like I know there's going to be some autistic people who literally have like a brain problem with reading a room, but if you look around you and there's some people chatting or just some like a couple people sitting and no one's really like annoyed or looking at you weird, feel free to talk with your friends about what you're going to do next. Don't scream, don't shout, but feel free to talk and discuss because the trains can be a good time to be like, okay, we're going to get off this train and we're going to go this way and we're going to go do that. Oh, look at that. That's really cool. Like, you can talk on a train. It's not forbidden. But if you're talking on a train and there's someone who's like, I don't know, in a meeting and they look at you and you're like, oh, that guy wants me to shut up. We'll talk about this when we get off. Like, just be polite and look around and be caring. Do you have any? So you train more than me, I bet. You have any tips besides the backpack? Because that does drive me nuts.
The backpack is very important. One, it's just more comfortable when you're getting squished by people to just have in front of you, because then you have control of it. Like no one's gonna try to reach for it. Um, Yeah, I would advise just be ready for the crowds, because that was something when I first came to Japan I wasn't even ready for, but it didn't really bother me. Just like being packed into a train, um, and try to avoid sitting down if it's crowded. Like let other
Oh, true,
people
true.
sit down for like the elderly people.
Yeah, unless
Especially
you're old with a busted leg, like
yeah.
leave that seat.
And
Hold on.
yeah, hold on. That's definitely the final thing. Make sure you're holding on to something, because the JR lines are very rough. The metro isn't too rough. The subway.
And sometimes you get a new driver who stops a little early and then has to go like creep a little farther forward. And when a train creeps a little forward, it's just like it jaggers up forward.
Yeah, that's basically it. Just watch how the Japanese people do it. You'll pick it up real quickly.
Yeah, and no trash cans. The train station is the one place I can always find a trash can. But outside of that, there's no trash cans anywhere else. So get ready to carry it or huff it until you're back to your hotel or you get to a train station for sure.
Yep.
You're cripple. You're always sitting. Congratulations. You get the is it green? Is that the you get like a green badge and you can sit in the green seats all the time? It's got a little
Yeah.
it's got a little white plus on it. You look
Yep.
like the Mega Man enemy.
That's great.
I've been to the mystery vending machines over in just south of Akihabara there. What is that? Not Okonomichi. What is that town?
I don't know the name off the top of my head.
It's right across the Konda River though. And that's where like the mystery ones are. Every time we get them, it's some weird cookie. It's never anything that's that exciting. The panty vending machine might be, if it's not in Kabukicho, would have to be in I don't know, where would that be?
That's the thing, is I've never seen it, so it has to be in some, like, it has to be one location only, super obscure that you would never know. I have no idea. I've never even cared to research it, because yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. And as far as Pocari Sweat goes, Pocari Sweat is good. Aquarius is also good and usually a little cheaper, but they're both like full sugar Gatorades. So if you drink them, get ready to have that like sweet tooth just right pounding. I don't know.
Yep.
It just I'm not a huge fan of super sweet things, so I usually go with like a lemon tea or something that's unsweetened.
That is a very good warning. Like, be aware of eating some of the stuff. Like, it's not as sugary as American food is, or even drinks are. Like, that was kind of a huge shock to me, how like actually clean it tastes. It doesn't taste so artificial. A lot of the drinks and the food you eat there,
Mm-hmm.
which is good.
and it's you either get like Japanese sweet, which is kind of bitter, kind of sweet, like a red bean, or you
Yep.
get like you're gonna die of diabetes sweet. Like there is no there's no in between. There is no like partial sweet around there. I mean, I found a link talking about it, but I don't actually know. They don't just have an address. It looks like Kabukicho though.
That would make a lot of sense. I've never been there.
But
I refuse to go there.
it also might be there's another place they're talking about in Akihabara. So one of those two. What you're saying is we need to bring democracy and corn syrup to Japan? No corn syrup. No more
Please,
sweets.
yeah, no.
Addicted to, and I will never seek help for.
Your thoughts on the corn soup?
It's not too bad. I like it better in the wintertime when it's cold outside and you can get a hot corn soup from the vending machine.
Yeah.
But I prefer the pumpkin soup if I have a
Pumpkin
choice.
soup, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
think
not,
they have that in
I'm
a
not
can,
a big
though.
corn soup fan, and it's
Mhm.
weird. At least it comes out hot.
Yes.
I have purchased it sometimes just to have something warm in my pocket. Like,
That is not a bad thing to do.
did they ban high fructose corn syrup? I wouldn't doubt it. It's a smart thing to do.
Yes.
There's nothing you need high fructose corn syrup for that you can't just use sugar for.
I posted this on the Discord. It's just a random drink that I found in Kyoto last year. It was very sugary. I was really surprised.
You were surprised that caramel popcorn soda was sugary? Oh, it's crazy.
Or it's society that needs to change, not me. Still, once the metro system was mastered, with minimal train gropings both inflicted and suffered, we made our way to Akihabara, perhaps one of the most famous districts in the entire country, widely known as the Anime District. Since a ton of anime shops, electronic stores, maid cafes, what
This Gigo that you see right in front of him here
Oh,
is
yes.
used to be the Sega. So the Sega arcade is now the Gigo arcade. So if you've watched an anime and they said Sega arcade, or maybe it would say like Saga or Sada or Seda, like sometimes they parody it, but big red building.
And behind him, if it's the exit I'm thinking of, the
Yep.
Gundam Cafe used to be there, but it's not
Used to
there
be,
anymore.
yeah. I think directly behind him last time I was there was a sushi place right next to a like a microbrewer. I was kind of surprised.
Huh.
have you are over there. And yeah, it's definitely trippy when you get there for the first time. Tons of people are flowing in and out, and there was a big-ass river flowing through it. It was free, too. You could just, like, stand there and look at the river.
Just the free river viewing. See what I mean? Like your first time to Japan, you're like, fucking river, man. Like we got rivers, but you're like, wow, it's like a canal, but like a river, but in the town. Why would that cost money? Exactly. River reeked when you were there. When were you there? Cause
Did it rain? Because usually it's smelly after it rains and it's
it
humid.
definitely has a dank to it.
Shit was wild. We tried to look at some of the merch stores, but holy crap, can they get pricey. Couldn't find a single Berserk statue that wasn't close to $1,000 each. And that
Well, I mean, it looks like he's in Mandarake here. Like, what did you expect?
Yeah, but Mandarake is like where you'll find some of the rare stuff or the old school stuff too.
He could have had a little Zod and a little guts for $100. No, yeah, $100.
That was if I could even find one in the first place. Also, we were apparently in Akihabara on the same day as a bunch of different YouTube people, so I'm going to take the time to apologize for not jumping them in the streets. That's our bad, guys. We failed you. We'll fuck them up next time. Regardless, it was
Ooh,
a
I
fun
wonder who
experience.
was there.
Especially
I don't know. We'll find out. Probably Trash Taste. Maybe Charla. I think Abroad in Japan just did a video recently. Someone was telling me about. Yeah, it's a Beck's coffee. That's what it is. right
Oh,
back
you know
there.
what? Maybe I Show Speed was there. I don't know. Because I think it was July he was there, but I might be
Oh,
wrong.
same time. Yeah.
It's probably like just packed with him now. Because you said he went in July right here.
Yeah.
This guy.
I
Yeah.
think it was in July.
Since we got there right as everything was at their busiest. Though it needs to be said, I did not appreciate being gaslit by that one maid cafe. We swore we'd never step foot in one because they're money traps. They're there to bleed money out of dumb tourists and horny idiots. But when we were checking out one of the merch stores, it was connected to a maid cafe and a completely separate cafe that was a floor above that one. Well, we wanted to sit down and take a break and kind of catch our bearings for the day, so we wanted to check out that cafe. When I decided to take the elevator up to the floor where the unrelated cafe was, it just led to a door on the roof. There was nothing there. It was
Okay, maid cafes are not for the horny.
Yeah.
Maid Dreamin' is probably the easiest one to go to. Cafe at Home also, pretty decent. But if you just want to get like, you're going to overpay, but you can get a fun mixed drink that's shooka by a maid, and you do like a dance and a song and everything. You can get your omurice with like ketchup drawing on it, or whatever meal you want to get and eat. I usually recommend just go and get like a parfait and a drink, and just experience a maid cafe. You'll spend 3,000 yen. Like it's not that crazy
Yeah.
for the whole experience, and you get like a Polaroid at the end. But go and try it. And if they're still doing it, Maid Dreamin' has been doing this hyper maid since post COVID, and basically you go, and for 3,000 yen you get an hour of all you can drink. Plus, it's like constant concerts on the stage, so it's just maid doing a dance while you're drinking the whole time.
Yeah, the stereotypical maid cafes that you see people go to, think of them as like attractions. You pay the fee to get in, and you pay for your food, and then you're just there like for the experience. And as long as you do a little bit of research beforehand, you know exactly what you're getting into. You shouldn't be like losing money. It's not. This isn't kabukicho.
Yeah, they
Like,
don't just take money from you while you're sitting there.
yeah.
Trying to think, see if I've
They also
got...
have some low-key maid cafes. They're not like the showy ones. They're just more like the waitresses are dressed up as maids and they serve you food like a normal waitress. I like going to those ones, like if I bring people there with me, because they're not like in your face or kind of like embarrassing, I guess you can say, for first
Yeah.
time people.
There's one that's a couple blocks away from downtown Akihabara that is a cat maid cafe, and that one's fun because it starts with them telling you to close your eyes, and they put cat ears on everybody, and they're like, magic, everyone's a cat ear.
We
Normie
should
here, what's a maid cafe? It's a cafe where all of the waitresses are maids. Exactly what it sounds like.
don't ask, you're too pure for it.
And why would I care about it? So you can get treated like a king who has a bunch of maids. Thanks for noticing, IJP. Yeah, it just happened with today's short. I'm trying to find, where is that cafe?
I don't have any photos because I only went to one that was like the stereotypical maid experience, and I didn't take any photos because it was already too embarrassing to sit in it.
Oh, I'm about to embarrass the shit out of myself once I find this damn photo.
I don't know like how it is in Akihabara. I'm assuming
Okay,
the
so like
women there.
here's the
Oh.
drink that I got at this cat cafe version. And then let me see if I can find the maid. That's the one thing, is they usually don't let you take photos of the maid. So
Every stream is an embarrassment.
I probably did. So here is waifu and I and our cat maid. Look at how tiny that human is. It blows my mind every time. Yeah, IJP, I posted a short about my bathroom, and people were like, "Oh, I'm gonna sub to this guy." par for the course. Yeah. That Johnny Somali guy is returning to Japan, by the way, bragging about starting trouble already. Oh. What happened to the good old Yakuza stealing his bike?
Yeah.
In Japan, you wear the mask because everybody does. And nobody tells them to. You're like, cool. There's not like a government mandate.
It's empty. Underneath it was the maid cafe, so that was available.
What if suddenly the Northwest lost all hydropower?
We
Half of our
would
local
die.
energy.
But the store that had nothing to do with that just led to the roof. They trick you into thinking there's a floor above.
You gained 7 subs because you showed off your shitter? True! True. It's literally... It's literally me. I got 51 likes on. This is like my most liked video of all time. And that you have to have when you come back stateside. The first is a Toto washlet. That's my shitter. It's a standard American toilet, but I got a Toto C300 washlet on top. Also squatty potty because you got to squat when you potty. Not a bidet. Google wash LET and you'll find it. The second is the Japanese style of shower faucet, and I just got mine in. What makes these special is you only need 2 holes in your wall, one for the hot, one for the cold. You set your temperature based on a premix based on what your water heater is going to be. There's all these instructions for how like if your hot water is this temperature, you have to set this screw to make it right. And then you use your selector here. It's a diverter, faucet, everything all in one. And I finally found this one for $200, which is a great price if you've been looking at faucets lately. So I am stoked to get this hooked up. Let's see if I can figure out how to get it threaded in. Oversharing. There's nothing I won't share. Oh shit.
Oversharing.
All my things went away. Hold on. Come back, chat. I hate the auto minimize that sometimes happens with Windows.
But you always wind up back in the maid cafe. And when I tried to escape on the elevator, a maid followed me. And as we were trying to get back on the metro system, I kept noticing maids in the streets. It's a terrifying place.
Yeah, when you walk around the streets of either Denden Town or Akihabara, there'll just be maids that are standing on the side of the street. So if you see like a costume and you're like, that looks like a fun costume, where's your cafe? And then they'll walk you to the cafe. And then sometimes they'll even be your waitress, your maid, while you're there.
I don't think I can recommend going to Akihabara. Also, I wanted to get more footage and pics, but a lot of places flat out banned using cameras.
Gurunavi?
Could use my phone, but the battery on it isn't the best. And I guess they're annoyed at tourists bringing out big cameras to take pictures and video of everything. It makes sense. It's a privacy issue.
What do you mean, why? Because you want a maid cafe experience. I don't understand what's so difficult to understand about this, Stu. You get rich, you get maids and butlers. You go to Japan, you just get maids and butlers. You go to the Butler Cafe, go get tea. It's wonderful. Have you been to Swallowtail?
No.
It's in Ikebukuro. It's very, very fun. Bring your wife. She'll love it. I also like tea time, so it was very fun. Or you go to a maid cafe. One of the two. Stu has God's maid his wife. But they're just waitresses? Correct. There is nothing weird about it other than the fact that when they serve you the food, they sometimes go moi moi cute to like make the food taste better. That's the only change. And sometimes you pay to take a Polaroid with them. But it comes with the meal, so like you got to do it, right? If you didn't get the meal, you wouldn't get it.
Plus, they can be pretty bulky. But I mean, I bought the damn thing to take pictures. Still, I got what I could. But we didn't just stay in Akihabara. There was a shrine temple just outside the district that we decided to check out.
This temple is a Love Live temple. It's like the Kanda something shrine. And the first time we found it, not only did this temple have a donkey, it's also the Love Live shrine. And there were straight up Love Live otaku. Like, head to toe, we're wearing like full screen printed shirts and shorts, a backpack covered in pins that were all Love Live, the hat that had all the pins, like the glow stick stuck in the hat. Like the guy was straight up, and his friend was exactly the same. Love Live otakus. But it has a donkey too. So if you want to see a donkey at a shrine, it is the only place I know of you can do that.
And it was really nice. One of the goals of the trip was to check out an old temple, so this was the perfect opportunity to do just that. Yeah, we left Akihabara so we could check out an old historical temple. We're boring. Do you want to fight about it? Still, the area was gorgeous, though it was definitely out of the way. I mean, it's a walk. You have to leave Akihabara, walk maybe a few blocks down the road, go up a hill. Yeah, altogether for the day, we walked.
And I think the hill is also really famous in some different shows. Conda Shrine? The heck is it? Also, the hell do you mean had to walk all the way? It's like right there, bro. Like there's sometimes, I will admit, there are times where you look at a map of Japan and you're like, oh, it's just a couple blocks. And then you start walking and you're like, oh God, each of those blocks is its own mile and a half.
Yes.
But he was just taking photos right here next to the big camera. And it's like the end of that block, cross this block, go up this block, and then cut in. And there's like stairs to cut across. So you don't have to walk through all of this. It's right there. Silly out of weight Kentucky boy.
We walked close to 10
Trauma
miles,
from shoe
but it was
feet.
worth it,
Yep.
because just the architecture alone really sells how pretty some of the sites can be. Of course, this was the day that the issue with the shoes got to their worst, like I had blisters the
There it is. There it is. You're right. You got it, DR. It wasn't the fact that it was actually far. It's that his shoes were falling apart.
of Jawbreakers bad. Buddy in the group had to go out and buy Epsom salt just so I could soak my feet. Shit really sucked. Don't neglect your shoes, bros, especially if you're going to a foreign country that really promotes walking every.
Hold on. I gotta check this out real quick. I'm gonna let this play for a second.
Where? Still, after the Akihabara day, we decided to do laundry at the place just across the street from the hotel. And I have no fucking clue how these laundromats work.
They don't work. I fucking hate laundromats. Okay?
I don't know which ones you've been to.
It's always some random one. Like Kinosaki, we used one. The only here's the deal. The only time we've had a good one was when we had one attached to our hotel, and we could just literally wash it in our hotel. We'd just pull it out and leave it in our room. It was that worked fine. That worked great. But the other time that we're like, oh, we'll just wash our stuff here. It was once kind of in between Hiroshima and Fukuoka. We just kind of stopped and we're like, oh hey, there's a place here. It's slow as hell. They don't know what a dryer is. Like they're terrified of everything burning down, so they don't dry your clothes. So if you're hoping to get it done in like an hour for one load, not happening. And then it's just a pain. You want to go over there and check out their Christian churches? In Sapporo, when we're walking down looking at all the cool snow festival stuff down the main line, there's a big Christian church there that's like handing out amazake, and we were like, oh, this is kind of cool. And we went in and like talked to them a little bit. It was a very unique experience, I feel. Hold on, I gotta read this real quick. Let me see. Stumbling around. How to get the things. Well, I guess I didn't. I thought I warned him about how much you'd have to walk, but I guess I neglected that one.
Oops.
My bad. My bad, Lolly.
Work. Just buy a fucking washing machine. Do it yourselves. Don't.
Amish Takis? No, Amazaki. It's basically a creamy, warm sake drink that isn't sake. Most important thing to know about Japan, I guess it slipped my mind. This stuff, it's just like a kind of a milky, creamy rice sort of warm drink.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's very what would you compare it to? Like a hot horchata, maybe? I don't know.
Pay for a basic feature, you heathens. Regardless, the day after was the actual Tokyo Tower itself. Area around it was really intricate, and you had to pass through another shrine to get up to it.
That shrine is pretty cool. This is where I first learned that you get sake out of a cardboard box in Japan. So I got like a juice box of sake, and it's like oni karoshi too. So like oni karoshi is an expensive bottle of sake, but they serve it in the juice boxes, and I was like, oh hell yeah! So I got myself an oni karoshi box, and we went. It's called Shiba Park, is the park around Tokyo Tower here, and it is gorgeous for sure.
It. Rest of the group went up since the tower sits on a hill, but this was the point where the shoe issue got just way out of hand. As stated, this was the day after walking up to like 10 miles in Akihabara, so the worn down pieces of shit I had wearing on my feet ate them to pieces. And then the day after we decided to do another excursion, it just was not the best idea, and I had to take multiple breaks just to get some relief. So personally, never made it up to the tower. But I did get plenty of time to look around the area surrounding it. A big ass park, another shrine, a luxury hotel. Really interesting stuff.
That hotel has an amazing bar in it as well. Most of the things when I say, oh, it was an amazing, it's either going to be bar or food. That's how I travel across that country. Nice pronunciation of horchata. I mean, how else do you say it? I mean, I got some hard trabajoing hombres that just finished up my trailer. Food trailer's in the driveway. It's back in my hands. Now we just gotta wait for the L&I approval on everything, and we can move forward with that. But my hombre, my essay, did good work. Did very good work. The mega pricey, yeah, it's like the Prince Hotel, isn't it? I don't even know, but the bar is amazing. Let's see if I can pull up the view. Prince Hotel bar view. Yeah, here you go. A lot of honkies would say horchata. Someone say horchata. It's right there. You're having a drink. There's the giant tower. Gorgeous.
Also a bunch of pigeons. They were everywhere. It was cool. We also went to some aquariums while we were over there. The one under the sky tree had tons of penguins. They're also pretty cool. There was even a whole chart we could track all the, family lineages of the penguins in the tank, so you could see who their ancestors were. I liked that. It was really cool. I also had some like late night market exhibit with a bunch of goldfish. It looked nice.
That's cute.
Plus sea turtles. The aquarium was very fun.
Turtle.
Next on the list was the Walking Gundam. Yeah, you might not know about it, but there's a Walking Gundam exhibit in Yokohama. They're slowly trying to build an actual moving Gundam. Granted.
Yeah, we're gonna do the viewing for this one. I looked at a little because there's 2 tickets. There's one ticket to get right into the viewing area where you can look at the Gundam, and there's a second Gundam that's like an experience. It lets you go into a location where you can see like how they built it and everything there.
Yep.
Welcome, Serranos.
Horchata.
Horchata.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I said it right.
Yeah, you said horchata.
Horchata. Well, you don't like my little
I don't actually
spice?
like when people use like accented language. I think it sounds stupid. You can just say it in your normal accent.
Horchata?
Yeah, I'd prefer you say that.
This is why I tell people when they go to Japan, speak the most white man Japanese you can.
It's less embarrassing than trying to speak
Soko
in an
desu ka?
accent.
Nani
Yeah.
desu ka?
They walking on him, take me to Japan.
You said the stupid for the man of God.
But I'm excited to see it. I don't think the other part of the location is like interesting enough to warrant like going in. It's just like, look, we built a machine. It's
Michael's
like,
here to
okay,
complain
cool.
about no Fire Emblem. That's why I'm here to complain about no Fire Emblem.
No, I was gonna say you should definitely use accents.
No, you shouldn't.
No,
You're incapable of using an accent, Michael. How do you even have this like idea?
Oh no, you understand. I can do a French accent like decently well.
So you're
So
gonna do it
whenever I
right
see
now,
French
right?
people, I look up slurs, like French slurs, and then just yell them at them.
Isn't there a French slur that's like, your mother shits on your head or something? I forget.
I don't know.
There's one of them one of those languages has like a really funny slur. Like jalapenos without the N. Enye.
So how do you say Paris, Michael?
Paris.
Yeah, you say You didn't say the accent though. You just said
I
you just
did.
said
Perry.
you're just like Perry. You know, just
Perry.
like
Perry the platypus.
Perry the platypus.
Perry.
Look, I can't go too hard on the accent. I need them to know I'm better.
You didn't put any accent on
I need them
whatsoever.
to know
Michael,
I'm better
what
than
accent? Like, what fake accent can you do?
No,
I've
I'm
never
literally
heard you
saying
do
it.
that.
No, okay.
You've
I'm
never
saying
done it.
I'm just saying it correctly. Okay, that's the accent. Saying it
But you're
how
not
they
putting
say it.
on the accent.
You say it how they say it.
You
but
said,
like-
"Oh, I put on a hard accent." I say Perry. I say Perry. In the
Do you
same
want to go
exact
to
tone you do
Perry? Perry?
There you go.
Yeah, like I get. Fuck
Still
French.
sucks though.
Fuck
but,
French.
you know,
Fuck them French people. Yeah.
you bet you wish
Yeah,
you
them
could.
French people.
You don't get to talk
Kick
Canadian.
his ass, Michael.
Michael, which girlfriend, which race are you gonna have your girlfriend be?
What's Fauna again from Hololive?
She's Korean.
We'll go with that.
As I said, I'm pretty sure she's Asian.
I'm pretty sure she's fucking busted in Holocure.
What?
Me and Michael have been playing Holocure all night.
Yeah,
day.
dude, it released on Steam.
The hell is Holocure?
It's
free.
Vampire Survivors, but it's for Hololive. We've already told you about this.
Yeah. Give it the
Oh.
program, dude.
Yeah, see, I was, busy picking up my trailer!
So are you gonna be able to start using?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I have it now, so I can finish the plans and I can resubmit the plans, and then I can get, I'm still month minimum away, but we will see.
It's still super early, but it is cool nonetheless. And it's made some pretty big leaps from when it started. At first only being able to move its head slightly, to now being able to move its arms, head.
The first thing it ever did was flip off the crowd. Let's remember that, okay? Japan makes giant robot, uses it to give a middle finger.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I can't say I blame him.
How do people have wives and girlfriends? Weebiest shit I've ever heard. I'm the wait, no, me and Canadian are the wife havers around here.
Yep.
True.
I don't have a wife yet.
I don't know about these Zoomers. Wait, Canadian, are you a Zoomer?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No, he's older than us.
So Japan is
True.
New York City. It's bigger than New York City.
Yeah, I
Head
think it is
and legs.
also. It has a bigger footprint as well, for sure.
It's half the size of King County. That's all I remember.
Yeah, because like Japan's, it's not the like widest city, but it's got pretty good spread.
Well, and like Tokyo, I think Canadian, you were mentioning this when I was talking about like different places in Tokyo. It's sort of one of those things where, like Tokyo has, these are the main wards where people will go and think of as Tokyo, but like out to, I mean, what? Hachioji?
Hachioji, that's considered Tokyo still.
Yeah, because Chiba's still Tokyo, right?
No,
No.
Chiba is Chiba.
No, Chiba, Hachioji, Funabashi?
No, it's actually a lot closer than that. You have to zoom in, because Disney World is in Chiba.
Oh, wait,
Yeah,
it's
it's
technically
technically Chiba. Yeah.
Okay, that's
So if you
proves me
zoom
wrong.
in, you should see like the or actually click on Chiba.
I mean, let's
Just
be
click
honest.
on
You
it.
do have a pretty large area where it's just
Oh
contiguous
yeah, there's the
city.
dotted line. Okay.
Like it's still city. If there is like a specific train route between whatever area,
yeah.
and obviously there is between Chiba and Tokyo, but just
Well, that's true because like there's not a Like, it doesn't suddenly become uncitied until you get out a ways, and then suddenly you're like, holy shit, there's nothing but forest until you hit, like, the next major town. It's fascinating how quickly it goes from 15-story building to no-story building. You've been married longer than me? You haven't been doing it as a weeb. And have
If you are living as your true self, you haven't been living.
Who is it that surprised me? Oh, I think it's Pop Culture Mechanic and I. I've been married for like about the same number of years. I've been with my wife for 15 years, 10 married, 5 dating. 15 years. Yeah, so you've been married as long as I've known my wife. That was the comparison.
They even have like a radio performance or something play whenever they show off its movement.
Gotta love the horn music playing in the background. Apparently it's audio from one of the animes, according to a buddy. What? What else would it be? Like, if you heard music and you saw a Gundam, you'd be like, oh, it must be a Gundam song. Like, there's only been 50, 60 years of them.
I mean, it really could have been anything.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing Star Wars right now. That's what it is.
No, it's Spaceship Yamato.
There you go. No one will know that one.
Super Spaceship Yamato.
I love the random other, like, people. You're like, yeah.
We all love to play. Whether you
Cosplayer
play for an hour
posing.
Or for 24.
Let's do it.
There was even a museum
Don't you
there
want
that
to stream
talks
on
about how they...
Twitch?
What?
Don't you want to stream on Twitch? Doesn't that make you want to stream on Twitch?
I mean, I am streaming on Twitch.
Yeah, but does anybody watch you on Twitch?
No.
We got that
There
one
was
guy the other
sometimes-
day.
Yeah, there was
Sometimes we
one
got
guy.
like one guy.
Zerium is usually in there, and then the other day there was another one that showed up,
Oh yeah, I saw him earlier.
and he was like really into Fire Emblem, wasn't he?
True.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I forgot about that. I thought he was on Kick.
The best Twitch viewer.
There was a no. See, there was another one on Kick too. That was Herb Master, because Kick has permanent chat, so like I can always see the Kick chat from like the past forever.
Yeah.
Still no Gape M4. It's true.
Who? Man, okay. Serrano's Holoclear's getting rough.
What?
Yeah. What about it?
I'm on map 2. Who's the VTuber that says Nya hello?
Yeah,
It's that one.
That's
That one.
Miko.
Yeah. We're fine, Miko. It ain't going too hot. I can't even get
They
close.
built it, the history of robotics, and the plans they had for the future.
Huh.
Really neat place. Definitely worth the journey to get there, because you gotta walk all the way to a harbor next to the ocean. Still, it's
It is
tons of
very
fun.
far
Even
walk.
spent money on some gum.
Yeah, if you're gonna go there, you better go like Cup Noodle Museum. Look
Oh, yeah,
at
I'm
the
gonna go to bed
Nissan
pretty soon, so I have
exhibit.
to get out.
Yeah, I see you.
I'll open and then I'll see you tomorrow.
See ya. Shrink this back down. There we go.
Now I won't know who I'm fighting.
Oh, you're still here.
Yeah, what the fuck do you mean?
What do you mean the fuck do I mean? I have a little name tag thing I'm using now.
Not
Because I
for...
prefer this view, but I don't want people not to know who you is. There we go.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, go to the little Nissan promo exhibit. Go to the Cup Noodle Museum. Yokohama has the largest Chinatown in the world is in Yokohama.
You mean it's in China?
No, the largest Chinatown in the world is in Yokohama.
I think you're wrong about that.
In China, it's not called Chinatown. It's just called town.
It should be called Chinatown.
No,
No, what kind of stupidity is that?
it's just the town. But everywhere else, you have to say Chinatown so that we know what you're talking about. It's the largest Chinatown in the world.
Big Trouble, Little Chinatown.
Exactly. I have been to the. Wait, don't you live San Francisco Chinatown? You live near there? You been there?
I've been to the Japantown.
Oh, San Francisco has a Chinatown. That's where Big Trouble in Little China's from. You can actually visit a lot of the restaurants and
Mm.
stuff there.
That makes sense.
Accomplish it. I will not get addicted to the plastic crack. This was just to prove that I went there. The last real big event we had for the trip was the Mount Fuji journey. Yeah, we actually said fuck it and decided to go to Mount Fuji. Originally, the plan was to also hit Aokigahara, the suicide forest, but we just couldn't get there to make it work. I mean, there was no time, and it was the last few days, plus the weather was getting really bad, so we just stuck with Fuji instead. To get there, we had to take a train from Kinshicho to Shinjuku Station. Then, take an express train down to the base of the mountain, where we had like a little town, and it was pretty wild going from ultra-urban Tokyo to a smaller mountain town.
That is one of the weirdest experience. Like, I was just trying to explain how it goes from like 15-story buildings to no-story buildings, but it really is like you changed countries. It's amazing. Because like here, to get from like city to farmland, I can do that in an hour drive. But even those farms are still like really populous. I have to drive for, you know, a couple hours before I get to like nothing there farm towns where there's just one guy who has like 500 acres of pasture. But in Japan, like as soon as you get outside of those main areas, it's just gone. Weren't they trying to rezone, take away buildings in Chinatown though? I don't know. I know they just had the Pokemon parade in the Yokohama Chinatown. Did a big drone thing and had the marching Pikachus and all that.
No, we love to see them marching.
I love when they set the marching Pikachus to like death metal music. That's my favorite meme.
It was still pretty bustling, but the shift was there. Still, from
Sukajan?
there we took a bus up the mountain, which was around a 40-minute drive both to and from. So a bit of a journey, but not terrible. And when we got to the peak, we got hit by the temperature difference. We were used to ultra-humid and hot Japan summer season, but towards the peak of the mountain, it dropped to like mid-40s. Shit got chilly, plus the wind. Regardless, it was pretty cool. There were a bunch of different shops to look at, and I ended up getting most of the souvenirs from there. Stuff like a geisha statue, a Lucky Charm, a hand fan, a whole bunch of stuff. We also
Okay, so Mount Fuji is a weird one when it comes to what I recommend to do when you go there. We'll pull this up first. So there are some pretty simple trains to get you from Tokyo to Mount Fuji. You can take some pretty major lines, and then you eventually like Otsuki or one of these stations, you switch over to this cute train that's just like, this is the Mount Fuji train. There's little Mount Fujis on the train all over the place, and then you head on up. From the Mount Fuji station, you're right now near Kawaguchiko, and there's these 5 lakes around Mount Fuji, but you're still kind of on the mountain. There's also a theme park, Fuji Q Highland. If you like Naruto, go to the Fuji Q Highland. Even stay at the resort, because if you stay at the Highland Resort, you can get into the Fuji Q Highland theme park early and stay late. There's also an onsen attached to the resort as well, so you can get the whole experience. It is just, again, it's very theme parky and very modern hotel. You can also stay down around Kawaguchiko. I have stayed on this side of Kawaguchiko at Konanso here. I have stayed at the far end over here in Ubuya. I preferred Konanso, but I really like the view that was over at Ubuya. But the Ubuya itself was sort of frustrating. But once you get into the town, Kawaguchiko or Mount Fuji here, you're all buses. You got a bus, or hope that your hotel has like a van that'll come pick you up. From here, you can get a bus ticket from the Mount Fuji station that'll take you up to what's known as the 5th station, wherever the hell it is. And basically, the 5th station is like the farthest up you can drive, and so you go to the 5th station, and that is where these shops are that he's probably talking about. Let's see if I can just pull it up. Oh, here it is. So Mount Fuji 5th station is kind of interesting because, again, you can just take a bus here, but all of these shops all look very fun and very cool. It is kind of chilly. I mean, I was in a t-shirt and shorts, and I had no issues. You can see other people are just wearing t-shirts and stuff. But all of these shops, this restaurant and shop here, this one's a restaurant and shop, the exact same restaurant and shop, and each one has like the same goods. It's really funny. And then from here, you can hike up the mountain. I'm not big into hiking because we have mountains all over the place. I can see the mountain. I'm like, oh, cool, mountain. Let's buy a thing that says we were here and we leave. But this, like the 5th station being up at the top of the mountain, quote unquote, not nearly as cool as spending more time being down at one of the onsens or the ryokans. Buddha book joke. Oh, we'll see.
Cool. There were a bunch of different shops to look at, and I ended up getting most of the souvenirs from there. Stuff like a geisha statue, a lucky charm, a hand fan, a whole bunch of stuff. We also tried to smuggle out the Buddhist Bible from the hotel, but decided against it in fear of any curses following us back home. I was already being stalked by maids. I didn't want to piss off Buddha. Now, to actually get home from Mount Fuji was a journey itself. So we did not have the time to get to the express train that would take us right back to Shinjuku.
It is a pain. Getting there always feels easier than getting back. That's for sure.
That's interesting.
One time we planned our trip, so we went to Mount Fuji, and then we left from there to go to like what the heck was that city? There's like a city that's kind of south and west of Mount Fuji that's super famous for their tuna. I'll find it here.
You're talking about Portland.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, Portland.
And yeah, we took a bus all the way Shizuoka.
Oh yeah, well the prefecture, yeah, Shizuoka.
The town itself or whatever.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I see.
So we took a bus from Fuji down there, and that was pretty convenient because the buses just keep flooding through. But buses they're not exactly cheap. But if you want to get back to Japan, I don't know. Bus would be a pain in the ass to go that way.
Juku, and from there, Kenshicho. Instead, we decided to take the normal metro system and try to trace the steps the express train would go, and essentially just kind of do it stop by stop. It was a good idea on paper, but when we got to the halfway point, one of the workers at the metro station miscalculated where we were going, and so sent us on a completely different train that, if I honestly had to guess, was probably taking us to fucking Kyoto. And from there, we had to stumble our way, close to dead of night on various metro systems, hopping from train to train to find our way home. It took about an hour to get to Mount Fuji altogether. It took about 3 to get back.
That I never had that problem. I can't think of one time that I showed a worker like, here's where I'm going, and they told me the wrong thing. That's mind-blowing, actually.
Yeah.
Huh. And you got to be careful, because you'll hit the last train of the night, and then you're not coming back ever.
Yep, you're screwed.
You're looking for a capsule hotel or rolling up in the park just to take a nap.
It was rough. Figure out the metro system, bros. It's just a good idea. Now, the only actual story left is when 2 of my buddies in the group decided to go get shit-faced at a bar.
Yes,
they were
I remember this
complaining
one.
all fucking trip how they wanted to go drinking at a bar, and
Oh man, this is what's known as every night in Japan with Blaine.
I feel like this story is not gonna go too well.
No. This is every night with Blaine, so let's just figure out what his night is like.
Yeah.
we just never really did. Well, the night decided to do that. Shota ended up getting a sinus infection, so didn't want to go out drinking, and I just didn't want to go. So it ended with the 2 of them getting so drunk they had hangover-style shenanigans while trying to get back to the hotel, including but not limited to falling asleep on the street, losing their passports, pissing on a guy's tire, and losing a pair of pants. Yes, they lost a pair of pants.
Yeah. Add puking on a train track and you got it, man. Actually,
I mean,
I make lots of friends. I usually just make lots of friends, and then that guy's like, "Oh, I'm shutting my bar down. We go to my friend's bar." And we just like we keep going from bar to bar as they keep closing in this cascade of drunkenness.
he left out the part where his friend shit in those pants that he lost, and
I
then
mean, that
had
would
to
be a
walk
reason to lose
downstairs.
them.
Yeah, he then had to walk downstairs the next morning and like grab his passport from them.
Sheesh.
All this the day before the flight home, so the hours leading up to us going to the airport were full of scrambling around Tokyo, trying to find our friends' passports so they weren't trapped in the country. Guys, if you're gonna take anything away from this, let it be this. Watch your drink count on the day before a flight. Regardless, it was a great time. Beautiful culture, great food, and
Oh, that picture right there actually might be
trapped in the
Hold on.
country. Guys, if you're gonna take anything away from this, let it be this. Watch your drink count on the day before a flight. Regardless.
No, I don't know where that Burger King would be. Never mind.
It was a great time. Beautiful culture, great food, and the police were super nice with only minimal amounts of hating the very ground we walked on. Though in all fairness, that's probably due to the sheer annoyance of trying to help hungover foreigners find their passports. This is a really different video from what I usually do, so really not too sure how this should all be structured. Mainly just going off the cuff, stream of consciousness type deal. Still, this was fun. The trip itself was great, and hopefully this will inspire you guys to start planning your own Japan sagas. As stated, it's something that can be cheaper than you expected, so long as you plan it right and know when to book everything. I know we didn't get up to as many shenanigans as what other people do, but we're old and boring and we had no idea how to make YouTube content. Plus, we mostly kept it to walking around and feeling the vibe of Japan. Actual attractions and stuff to do is covered by guys like Abroad in Japan, who do good work showing what you can get up to. This is just sort of an everyman visit foreign country for first time deal. Regardless, I hope this gets you guys interested in checking out Japan for yourselves. Until next time, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
It's a good bit.
video.
They got chickens. They have chickens and cute Japanese girls.
Oh yeah, watch the TV if you have a TV in your room. I one time turned on the TV and there was like a board of people talking to each other, and then all of a sudden the camera was like going around, and one of the board members was just full on luchador, and I was like, "What the fuck am I watching?"
Nice.
Classic.
Shaking their hands.
Hey, loser. Do you want a shirt? Do you want a t-shirt? I have shirts now. Look
He's
at
got
look in the
shirts.
description for a link to a t-shirt you can buy. If you
Like,
don't buy the t-shirt, I'll
subscribe,
kill
the
your
almighty
family.
lolly.
If you don't buy the t-shirt, I'll poison your dog. If you don't buy the t-shirt, you're going to be the only person in town that does not have a t-shirt. Everyone's going to look at you funny. There's going to be social consequences to not having one of these t-shirts. I'm now making express threats of violence against you if you do not buy my t-shirt. I will call the police, tell them how they're not, you're not buying my shirt. They're going to plant crack in your house, and they're going to arrest you and then beat you up in a jail cell. Buy my shirt.
Buy the shirt.
It's a
Also,
good shirt.
there's Patreon and subscribe star. Do you have... This might be interesting. Michael, do you have questions about what it's like to travel to Japan with that knowledge that you have now from Lolly?
I still need to know where to go.
Are you
'Cause I know
thinking
where
where
you are.
is in what cities to go, or where is in what
Pretty
things to
much.
do in the
Yeah.
cities?
Like cities and then places within the cities.
Okay. It's a great question. Canadian, what you want to start while I put together my thoughts?
So, here I gotta whip out my phone and look at my my markers. So, yeah, depending on where you land in Japan, so if you land at Haneda, which is closer to Tokyo, and you get a hotel around there, actually, one thing I'm surprised you didn't mention was Odaiba, because Odaiba has the Unicorn Gundam statue,
True.
and also Team Lab planets, which is pretty cool to go visit. But anyways, Akihabara is obviously at the top because it's got all of your nerd fantasies there, and you just have to walk up and down the main street, and then go. There's a street behind it as well that you can just walk up and down and just jump into shops. You just walk into a random shop, see what they got in there, and if there's something interesting, you can get it. If not, then go to the next shop. Tokyo Station, walking around Tokyo Station in that area is really cool because you get to see like the Imperial Palace, which is nearby. There's a lot of nice restaurants in that area as well. They're a little bit on the higher end, but Tokyo Station is really cool. The building itself, it's like a brick building. Um, I like going down to Ginza because Ginza is kind of like the fashion district, well, the fancy high-end fashion district of Tokyo. Um, you can see kind of like there's a lot of pretty women down there, of course, but you can see just some of the fashion type stuff, and I like the architecture too. Just neat, clean, uh, modern buildings, I guess. Um, Obviously, he mentioned Yokohama, so Yokohama has quite a bit down there, but that's kind of farther away from Tokyo City, so you need to be careful, like when you'll take a trip down there. But yeah, besides the Gundam factory, because that's different. The Gundam factory is different than the Gundam base. The Gundam base is in Odaiba, and that's where all the Gunpla stuff is at, and that's where the Unicorn Gundam is. The Gundam factory is just like a one-trick pony show with the walking Gundam there. But anyways, yeah, Chinatown's really close to that, which is cool. There's nice parks down there, which is kind of cool by the harbor, so you can walk up and down the parks and see some stuff there. The Cup Noodle Museum is a little far away from the Gundam factory, but there's a nice mall near there, and the mall's got like some pretty good restaurants there. Like there's a Hawaiian restaurant I ate there once. It was pretty good, and there's also a Snoopy restaurant nearby. At least I think it's still open. I'm checking right now.
Yeah.
Um, the Yokohama red
Well, there's
brick.
always some weird cafe where you're like, oh, I want to try that out. And
Yeah.
like those red brick buildings in Yokohama, those are really cool.
Yeah, there's some cool little gifts you can find there for your family or friends or whatever. As far as the rest of Tokyo,
So he-
Shibuya, like honestly, when it comes down to visiting the other cities, it's just sightseeing. Like Shibuya, Harajuku, and Shinjuku is just walking around and taking the sights in. Roppongi's kind of cool too if you go to Roppongi Hills. But the rest of Roppongi is like pretty trashy and shady, so you got to be careful. As shady as Japan gets.
Yeah, that I was in a bar in Osaka one time, or no, I was at a knife shop in Osaka, and they were sharpening my knives when I bought them, and they were like, "Oh, where are you staying?" And I showed them in like Osaka, and they're like, "Oh, that's bad part of town." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"What do you mean bad part of town?" He's like, "Lots of old people who don't have jobs." It's like, okay, bro,
So
like,
homeless.
I don't think you know what bad part of town means. I'm not worried about getting shot. Like,
Yeah.
or baseball batted by the Russians. That's the
Awesome.
bad part of town.
But that's I mean you've been to way more than I have, so you could probably take it away.
Yeah, so the way that I usually plan these trips out is you pick your cities, and really if it's your first time to Japan, you don't know if you're going to go back, try to see Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. And then add one more area that you're going to visit as like a side trip. So whether that's Kinosaki Onsen, or if that's going to Mount Fuji, it could be Nagoya. Like there's a lot of places that you could kind of pick that are not quite a major city or a little farther out that most people don't go to. That'll be something that's totally unique, and you'll be like the only one that you'll ever talk to that has been to that location. And the way I try to plan it out is all right, here's our home hotel right here in Akihabara. That's where we're going to be. And when we land, it's always late at night when we come from the SeaTac. So we'll go to the Kuran Sake Market that night with our McDonald's, and we'll have a good time. And then I plan out the days. And so like I said with earlier, you're going to wake up super early. So I plan to just explore the Tsukiji Market area. And that's going to include like my breakfast as well. And I don't find like, oh, this is the place we should go for breakfast. We walk around the area, and then all of a sudden you're like, I want that, and my stomach tells me yes. Because there'll be street stalls that are serving food you'll want to snack on. There's other places you'll be like, oh, I want to try that. And you just go in and you try that one thing and pay and leave. There's no tipping in Japan either. So you just walk in, buy it, eat it, and leave. It's really quick and easy. With this trip, we paired it up with going over to Shinjuku afterwards. But that's sort of what I would recommend is you pick one spot for the morning. So like you skiji in the morning until about noon, maybe 1 o'clock, and then after that you're going to be going around like Shinjuku, looking at the Godzilla statues in the area. There's a bunch more restaurants in the area you can go to. You can check out the Don Quixote. This day is we've got Akihabara in the morning and Asakusa in the evening. So you pick sort of these two areas where you're like, oh, these two areas would be kind of close together. We can take a train to get from one to the other. And they've got, some shopping and some food in each one. And if you end up spending all day in Akihabara, awesome. If you end up bored by Akihabara and you go to Asakusa and you prefer this cool temple area and you spend all day there, do that instead. So always your plans need to be flexible. But have like an area or something that you're in the mood to go to. Another one that's always really easy is doing Meiji Jingu and the Harajuku area, which has a ton of shopping. Like if you like clothes, if you like shoes, shopping in Harajuku is a very fun thing to do. They can also get like fluffy pancakes and then pairing that up with Shibuya. It's a big long day of just like shopping and looking at malls, but similar to how looking at like the green cone is like, whoa, their cones are green. Just being in a Japanese mall is like, what the hell is with why is the mall built like this? Why is everything a tiny store? Why is everything one store? Like they're very, very different at the end of the day. But yeah, there's your next location, sort of the central area. And a lot of those you can sort of piece together as like, oh, go to like Odaiba as a place to go, because you Google around with like you Google like things to do in Tokyo, and it'll take you to a like a TripAdvisor website that's like the 15 things to do in Tokyo. And if you click around in the Tokyo one, eventually you can get to like popular neighborhoods, and these are where it's like, okay, Ueno Asakusa, that's the one that's close to Akihabara. So maybe on that day I want to look at some stuff that's there. And using these sort of weird top 10 lists to sort of piece together like areas to get yourself to can be really, really useful. And then the rest of these I plan out just based on that same idea. So that's like the first 4 days, first 5 days there in Tokyo. The next 3 days over in Kyoto. Most of that is just look at this shrine, look at this shrine, look at this shrine, look at this shrine. Very, very, like you go to Kyoto to just look at a bunch of shrines and a bunch of bamboo. Osaka, Osaka is nice if you don't live in Japan, because you can get the Osaka Amazing Pass, and then the metro is free for the next 2 days. So you can go see the Osaka Castle, you can go to the Tennoji Zoo, you can go up the Senkaku Tower. So like that free pass has a bunch of stuff connected to it that'll sort of lead you where you want to go for those 2 days. And then I kind of have this one break down into actual blocks where it's like, here's Den Town. We go to the Animate, we go to the different anime stores. Here's Senichi Mai. This is where I go to get kitchen stuff if I need it for yakimono. And then the shopping areas where you can go buy overpriced American goods.
Oh, so you mean normal American goods?
Yeah, like there's a diesel store, there's a Coach, there's
Was that near
is a fun place.
I don't go there. It's like just a bunch of degenerate people there.
You should go to have you been to, what is the bar? Is this the one? The Suite?
No, in Shinsaibashi?
It's in Amerikamura technically. It's
American
basically
Village, okay.
like a Gatsby themed bar with like
Okay.
it's run by a couple Australians, I think, and they are damn good singers. And so they sing and play the piano while you're eating and just kind of hanging out at this bar. It's pricey, but it's fun. But yeah, that's how I would plan it out. You get, we fly into Tokyo, we spend some days there, we go to Kyoto. No more than 3 days in Kyoto. If you need more than 3 days to see all of Kyoto, I don't know what you're doing there. Osaka, 4 days in Osaka. Mount Fuji, just spend the night. Pick your hotel. Again, I don't think you need to climb the mountain, but just stay around Lake Kawaguchiko or Kawaguchi. And then back to Tokyo for your last, couple days just to fill in anything you missed. Like on this trip, we went down to Hakone and explored the Hakone area. Also, we went to the Muscle Girl bar there. Oh wait, no, we missed that one. That was closed. Oh, that's right. We did cup noodles. That's what we did. But yeah, lay it out like that, and that'll be a good way to get you together.
It helps if you go with somebody that's been there before, so you can just kind of like tag along with them, and they just kind of take you everywhere. And then you can, if you go on another trip in the future by yourself or with some friends, then you can be the field expert.
Exactly.
So just go with Blaine, or you come out here and I'll help you out.
And don't be scared just to walk around being like, "What's that?" Someone might answer.
All right.
They're a lot friendlier in Kansai over in Osaka than they are in Tokyo. In Tokyo, people will walk around your dead body, whereas in like Osaka, they'll give you a kidney on the street. It might not be theirs, but they will give you a kidney. Like, oh man, and that's kind of all I had planned for today. I've got an earlier morning because I have to go pick up the tiny truck from the port. The port opens early. I'm a little disappointed in Lolly that he door dashed.
Yeah, that is pretty sad.
I get that it can be intimidating if you don't know Japanese, but like I can't stress enough how much I didn't know the first time we went. I literally knew like where's the bathroom, how much is this, and where while I was pointing at something. And that was it. And we get to Kyoto and we're walking around, and Kyoto on Sunday, everything closes. Everything is closed. I was like, what the hell is wrong with this town? The town is just closed. We finally find a ramen place that's open, and there's just one guy that's running it. And we step in, and he kind of like leans down and points and like kicks there's a little bit of a rise from his entrance to like his actual floor. And he kind of like kicks it so that I know not to kick it. We get over there, and I look at him, and I'm just like, tonkatsu, because like I know like I know like the names of the food. I don't really know what they look like. I can't read his menu. There's no English anywhere, or anything like that. And so I was just like, tonkatsu, pork, pig, oink oink, and he brings like the best like big bowl of ramen. And I'm like, oh, sake. And he, like, I know sake. Like, you got to learn their foods. You learn your foods, and you're going to survive just fine. What app would I recommend for communication? Honestly, Google now. Get a pocket Wi-Fi router that you can pay for. I've shown it's like $50 for 5 days, and for however many days you're going to be there. And you can, like, we have T-Mobile, so we can get free 2G internet while we're abroad, but that's pretty dang slow. So having the Wi-Fi router is nice, and just using the Google Lens, you can actually look at kanji now. So like in 2013, I'm grunting at an old man to try to let him know that I want pork ramen, and now I'm shining my phone on the menu, and it's translating everything just in the Google image viewer.
Yeah.
It's amazing how accurate it is. Now, sometimes it messes up, and it's hilarious. And you'll look at them, because you'll be like, I can't figure out how to translate this. And you'll point at it, and you'll be like, none this guy. Like what is that? Like, you got to learn a few of those, like, what words. if you want to get a little more clever with it. But you don't have to ask them what it means when it says bride's tofu butt. Like you don't have to ask what that is, but I do. I want to know what the hell is that. Like, can I have that? I don't know. I don't even know what it means. I don't even care if it's gross. I want to try it.
Yeah, with modern technology, there's like no excuse to not like use it when you're traveling abroad. And a lot of restaurants have English menus. I mean, you just have to look white and they're gonna give you an English menu.
That is true. There are quite a few English menus, and a lot of places will
So you
just
wanna make
be
them all
like
better.
no English menu. And a lot of people will take that as like racist Japanese people, like, oh, they don't want English speakers here. I mean, I also don't want to eat at a place where they don't even want to like try to communicate with me. So I'm fine with that.
Also, a lot of menus, if you go to a chain restaurant, which are pretty obvious to spot, they're gonna have pictures, a lot of pictures, so you can see the food, and it's like not difficult to choose it. But yeah, if you go to like a local mom and pop shop, they're gonna have that traditional Japanese style menu where it's only in kanji, and like it's on the wall. Like you have to look at the wall and read it from the wall. So
Oh yeah. The best thing I can say there is learn your skewers, because you go to these little izakayas, you can pretty much guess the types of food they'll have. So if you can say like like I want momo skewers, that's chicken thigh. Leba, you want some liver skewers, you want some hatsu. A lot of it is, you speak just the English in a Japanese accent and you'll get pretty close. Or you're like, oh, karaage, or like you have like fried chicken. Then they'll usually just say like yes or no. So you say it if you're not sure if you can read it.
yeah, it's a bummer. He missed out on probably a lot of good food that was probably within reach of him.
Go to purchase. I don't think I've ever bought a. Oh, good, it's already set up.
Are you super chatting him right now?
Yeah.
Wait, post the link in the, or actually, I'll just go
Girls,
find
the
his
one where,
video.
like, if you want super fucking Puritan, like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. A lot of shoujo stuff deals with that.
Stream
and,
snipe him.
Precure is one of the ones that got roped into that. Landscape Core, $5. Hearing that you DoorDash in Japan, my disappointment's immeasurable. My day is ruined. We didn't want to fumble around looking like idiots in public, staring at signs and going, "We want that." So we just stuck to like delivery apps. Keep everybody as painless as possible. Gawain Saga. Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah, Gawain
weak.
Saga. That's the
That's
one.
weak
where it's, isn't that made
excuse.
by the Emperor Text-to-Speech people, or am I thinking of something else? Precure, the magical anime that can't be dark anymore. Yeah.
Hey, I got to hear my little notice there.
Nice.
Fumble and pointing at signs, have fun in Japan. Yeah, but Shoto really didn't want to do that. He's like, man, we just look fucking stupid. We hold everybody up. He was insistent on it.
Shut up,
Anyone's
bitch.
daughter thought to punch someone because of Precure. Yeah, but
He did get a sinus infection.
you are talking about parent-teacher associations. That's like, well, I don't want my daughter getting any ideas from that series. Like, it's that kind of logic. You just kind of have to like accept that that's what they think.
Alright, guys, real shit though. Is Final Fantasy VII worth it? Because I will play it and beat it right now.
The original
7?
or remake?
Original.
Probably.
The
I
original.
think so.
Thoughts on Fallout 4? Do you hate it like most everyone else? I definitely agree that it's as an actual like story, it's fucking awful. But if you just want to fuck around and like shoot stuff, it's fine.
It's
a
either
fun
that
shitpost
or I
game where
play
you just stack as many
10.
mods as possible into it and see what breaks first.
All right. Blader Senpai, how do I reach these children? These Kentucky Zoomers. What do I do? I am so excited, though. Tomorrow, I get to go pick up my tiny truck. And then I'll be a tiny truck owner. I mean, I guess I technically am, but, like, I'll have it in my hands. Possession is 9/10 of the law, right? So, that'll be. You laugh, but that's true.
I'm not laughing because I disagree.
Okay.
Good.
It's one of those things you learn in the firearm industry because technically, when you buy like a silencer or a machine gun or some sort of NFA item, you have a stamp that says you get to use it. Now, you can use a trust that says you and anyone you're shooting with can use it. But if you were to personally have a stamp, only you get to use and possess that item, which means if anyone else holds that item, you have just committed a felony.
That is ridiculous.
It's so dumb. And the possession rules with the NFA will also go to like if you put it in a safe and somebody else knows the combo to that safe, knows the combo, they are in possession of it as well. It's so dumb the way that we handle all of those NFA items, but you know, what are you gonna do? Abolish the NFA? I think so.
Yeah, that sounds like a good
But
idea.
I need more Americans on my side before we can get that to succeed.
Did you announce or say like who's coming to Japan with you this time?
It's my sister.
Oh, okay, so it's family, just
Yep.
you and your. Oh, okay, cool. Have you taken or have you been with any of your buddies here or no?
No, actually. I've been with other friends, like IRL friends, and then I've been with other family, but I haven't done like a tour with people that I was like not directly familiar with.
So what you're saying is you need to set up a Blaine's Escape Corner Japan meetup.
I'll do it. I already showed people how I can save them $4,000 by not going with Anime News Network. I guess it's only right that I start my own tour brand.
Yeah.
I could charge an extra 10% just to set everything up as like a booking fee. And if I got like 10 people to sign up, maybe even 5 people, that would be enough for to pay for my way.
I was actually contemplating of starting to do that, but I don't know like how feasible it is long term to keep doing it.
Yeah, but like turning it into a business where you have to do it long term, probably not the easiest thing. But if you had sort of like a recurring, like, hey, every 2 years I do this with for anybody who wants to sign up, is always always fun. Before or after summer, yeah, just don't go during summer. Never during summer. I prefer the fall. I like a little bit of rain. I like the momiji, the colors of the leaves. They're colors I can see. Whereas like the cherry blossoms can be pretty white in my eyes, so I don't really care about them as much. Do people go crazy like about cherry blossoms legitimately, or is it just when you go to a touristy park?
What do you mean by that?
Like they're all like, "Oh, look, we got cherry blossom time. I gotta
Oh
go."
yeah, yeah. If I don't take my wife to see that, then it's like her year is ruined. It's ridiculous. Like I'm not gonna lie, it drives me nuts how
You're like, it's just fucking flowers, man.
yeah. And it doesn't have to be like we have to go to fancy place. Just if I don't walk around the neighborhood with her because
Yeah.
we have them everywhere, then like I've just ruined the year and
Hey,
possibly
at
a
least she's
relationship.
reasonable about the viewing, right? Like
Yeah.
she doesn't need a whole Hanamizaki experience. Like,
Yeah, but they do go nuts out here. Like they like to go to, for example, like Ueno Park in Tokyo.
yeah,
They have like a huge area there that people will go and bring their tarps and their beer and their food and just camp out like all day, chilling and looking at the flowers and drinking and having fun.
yeah. It's also crazy how quickly it moves. Like I remember one year, we went and we were in Tokyo, and then from the time we took like it was blooming in Osaka, and we took the train to Osaka, and by the time we got to Osaka, the blooming was done, and now Tokyo was blooming. And it was like, well, I guess we saw it while we were passing through it on the train, like it was a freaking tidal wave of pink.
That's pretty cool.
But like I said, I don't care too much about the blossoms. They're fun. I like them in art. I really like artwork that includes the blossoms,
Yes.
like the Nissan Formula E car used a Sakura livery, and it was really cool. But like the pink they use when they draw it is so different than the pink that they really are. Fuck Japanese summer. Yeah, that was. Plus, we for summer we knew it would be hell, so we only did like 10 days, and we just stuck to like Tokyo and around Tokyo, and I also got food poisoning from Moss Burger.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah, it's the only thing that I remember eating that tasted not right. Because like I've
Interesting.
usually got an iron stomach, like I can eat anything, but something about that. I got their tonkatsu burger, and I don't think it was well cooked pork.
Yeah, Moss Burger is like probably the worst food chain or burger chain here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Avoid it at all costs.
Not good. Not worth it. That's for sure. Anyway, all right, Canadian, you got any more streams coming in or any final thoughts?
Yeah, just tomorrow, I'll be doing that Mario baseball stream with my buddy Woopa Troopa.
Sweet.
That's
That's
I
right, I
don't
remember.
know what time it is for you Americans. I want to say it's 7 p.m. Central Time.
Let's get
Yeah.
Angry Canadians channel in the chat there.
It is midnight Central Time.
No, not well. I didn't mean like
that's
right
never
now.
Mind. You know what? I messed up there. You're right. You're probably right.
It
But-
says 5 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow.
Which is 7 p.m. Central Time.
Cool, I was right. Yeah, so that's basically it. Gonna be doing that, and yeah, appreciate you letting me hang on by and
Yeah, I'm
roast
glad you
your
reached
buddy
out.
here.
Yeah, no,
for-
you've got the link, so like these assholes do. If you drop in the back and I notice you, I'm probably gonna bring you on because you never know what someone's gonna say. So
Well, this is a rare opportunity because this is my last day of summer vacation, and I go back to
Ooh.
school next week. So,
anything you're studying that you want to tell the class?
well, it's just Japanese.
Oh, you're studying Japanese.
Yeah, I'm in full-time language school right now.
Interesting. Going for your NLPT or whatever that's called.
The JLPT.
JLPT.
Yeah, I took
What's the N for? Oh, it's like N1 and 2.
JLPT, Japanese Language Proficiency Test.
But then like the levels are like N
Oh,
something. aren't
N.
they?
I don't know what the N stands for, but yeah, there's N5 through N1. I took N3, and I hope I pass it, because if I don't pass it, then I'm gonna have to shut down my YouTube channel and focus on studying. So it's an agreement that I came up with my wife, so I
Yeah.
have to honor it. But yeah, if I pass N3, then I'm gonna study for N2 this December.
Sweet.
See how that goes. But yeah, I appreciate it. If you guys got questions, I'm in the Discord, so if you guys just want to hit me up in the Discord or whatever. If you do come to Japan, I live in Osaka, which I think is better than Tokyo.
Amen.
So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah, I had a friend who failed their N2, and there were only like 2 questions where they were pretty sure they weren't sure, and they think those are the ones that they like really missed.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
always sucks. All right, Mikey, you're done moving? Does that mean we're gonna get more streams from you?
No. School starts next week.
No. I got school coming. You
Yeah,
both got school coming.
pretty much.
You know a priest who moved to Osaka as a naval chaplain? Interesting. Osaka is the only place I've met servicemen, I guess we'll call them.
That's weird considering how Tokyo's like got 3 bases out there.
Yeah, but I guess they don't hang out where I hang out. Whereas like in Osaka, I'm always bar hopping, so you always run into somebody who came off a base pretty soon. Alrighty. Everyone, thank you for hanging out today. We will be having Fun Time Friday tomorrow. I will be here likely right on time or a little late, but we will be here for Fun Time Friday, the big panel show. We bring everybody on. We have a good chat. We'll see what happens between now and then if there's any topics we want to hit directly. Otherwise, let's just have some fun and hang out while I try to finally beat Fire Emblem, which is not going to happen before Armored Core comes out, but I will continue to power through Hector until such a point as I do survive. Anyway, thank you for being with me today. Have a fun day. I'll see you tomorrow. Kampai, everybody.
See you later.
Peace.